I wanted to ask you, who of you is currently looking for a new job? Okay, that's a lot. And who of you is registered with the Agentur für Arbeit, with like the German Office of Unemployment? Okay, cool. That's some of you. So to address with you is some sort of upskilling in Germany that you could get kind of for free. And I wanted to share some options for you because I know some of you are maybe not from Germany, moved here recently, and don't know about the options. So maybe that's something useful today. I also did some slides. It's just very quick. I think I have just 4 minutes, so I'll be very quick. But if you have later on some individual questions, I'm super happy to share. Let's just wait, yes, with the text set up.
Let me see. Can you see it? Perfect.
Yeah? Is it working?
It is working.
Cool. Okay, perfect. So it will be just a very quick overview. Who of you have heard about the Bildungsgutschein? Some of you, okay. It's a very long German word, so it takes some time to learn it. But it's basically a voucher that is that is funding trainings. There are a lot of different providers in Germany who offer programs, and with this voucher, for example, you can take some of these trainings. Yeah, it covers up to 100% of the materials and course fees, and generally helps you, for example, to upskill or reskill into a new job, or even get some job coaching. Yeah, I will share some of the details later on. Who qualifies is maybe someone here in the room. So it's basically someone who's currently unemployed, looking for a new job. Maybe also employees who are currently at risk of unemployment, right? Maybe the company is planning layoffs. Also people who want to return after a career break, for example, mothers, right, who want to join the workforce after some time. And also for freelancers, right? If there are freelancers who maybe struggle currently with business because of the current changes in the market, it might be also an option for them. And basically, what it means, let's give you an example. Alejandro, right? Let's say he worked in, he was a graphic designer, right? Maybe just to give you an example, yeah? He's not. No. So you were a very good graphic designer. You worked in the company, you lost your position, and then you are trying to look for a new job. But there are no jobs in graphic design anymore, right? Yeah. Because currently UX design, UI design, or other fields are more popular. So Alejandro is looking for jobs. He can't find a job. So the first thing he does, this would be step 1, he books a session with the Agentur für Arbeit to schedule a conversation, right? A consultation. For this, you would also need to register already. Yeah, register I actually start again. If you lose your job, you should register within 3 days with the Agentur für Arbeit. Yeah, so you need to inform them right away that you currently lost your job and you might be unemployed in the next month. Yeah, this is the first step you do. And then Alejandro he knew he will lose his job. He was already looking for a new job, but he couldn't find anything. So, actually he was like, I don't want to work in this field anymore, right? I want to do something new. So Alejandro schedules a meeting with his advisor at the Agentur für Arbeit and brings his CV to the appointment and discusses his career plan. Yeah, this is something he did as the first step. Yeah, and he discussed with his advisor that it might make sense to upskill, right? To maybe do a course like 3 months, 6 months, to learn some new skills and to be more competitive on the job market. Yeah, so his advisor liked the idea because he or she saw, hey, he actually has an idea. He wants to learn something new. He wants to apply for jobs in another field. Please check out some providers, Alejandro, who offer this program and show it to me. Yeah, important is that these programs are certified so that the Agentur für Arbeit can also approve them. Yeah, so in step 2, for example, Alejandro will share all the documents with the advisor at the Agentur für Arbeit. If they agree that it makes sense, they will approve the course. And then Alejandro has a frame for 3 months where he can really kind of get this voucher and can start the program. Yeah, this is basically how it works. It's a lot of bureaucracy. I really shortened it now, but in a way it really could help you to really change your career or to also boost your career. Yeah, there are so many courses. It can be data analytics. It can be also, I don't know, someone wants to become a coach, right? It can be also something completely different. Like there are a lot of courses. And yeah, I really shortened it because it's just a very small presentation, but just some successful tips for the application is that before your appointment, you research the courses in advance you want to study. You bring your CV and any relevant certificates. Be clear on how the course improves also your job prospects. It's basically really like a pitch. We are also practicing here pitch. You really need to do a good pitch why you should do this course. And yeah, you should definitely really use the meeting to ask the advisor any relevant questions, and also, act fast once you receive the voucher. Yeah. So this was a very quick overview on the whole process. I added some resources here too, but I just wanted to share it because not everyone is aware of it, not even Germans, that there's an option that they can get some funding. Yeah. And also, I know, and because I've guided a lot of individuals to get this voucher, of course, this is no legal advice, but I helped, with preparing the pitch, compiling the documents. And I realized that sometimes the advisor rejected the first time, then the person tries it again. And sometimes it works out, and some people did really good career shifts. So, yeah. This was just a quick overview. Again, I'm not selling anything. I'm just sharing knowledge because anyway, I'm myself looking for a new job now. But if you have any questions, you are, for example, in a situation that you want to upskill, you are in touch with the Agentur für Arbeit, you can reach out to me. Alejandro can share maybe my details later somewhere. I'm always happy to help. Yeah, so especially with German bureaucracy, I know myself how tricky it is. I got married to someone not from Germany, and this was also a lot of paperwork and stress. Basically everything related to bureaucracy here is something I can help with. So yeah, always happy to help. And I will need to leave after this because I have an Easter celebration tonight at home, but I just wanted to come here for a bit. So thank you.
Thank you. Un aplauso.
The official website has changed. That's mine now.
Yes, there are a lot of
That's all the same.
There are a lot of difference now. Actually, CourseNet still works, but it's actually a good point. Yeah, we can add this. Yeah,
Thank you.
mine now.
One question, is it only these slide, notice this one, they're asking for B2 and J?
So basically, yeah, actually that's a good point. So in general, the language question, right? So you had the situation that you got rejected something?
No, I can speak, but the problem is that I was in a job, but then recently that happened, and they were asking that everyone was saying that you need only B2, only then you can go to this.
No, actually, I used to work also for a provider, and we had programs in English, and especially in Berlin, you can really convince the advisor to do a program and not having high B2 German skills. Let's say someone really wants to stay and working in tech where the main language is English, right? Having B2 skills, me as an example, I am German native. I never spoke German at work because all my work was always English. So actually, other cities in Germany, it's tricky if you are in south of Germany because their German is more spoken. But if you work in Berlin and you plan to work in a English-speaking international company, you can usually convince the advisor. And there are also a lot of programs for upskilling that are currently in English. So it's sometimes, as you said, they might reject you, but you can always prepare a very convincing pitch to say, hey, listen, actually most roles I want to apply for are in English. So it would make sense for me to enter the workforce quickly. At the end, it's a bit like a sales pitch because the Agentur für Arbeit wants you to work again as soon as possible. So the better arguments you have that you can be on the job market, the better. Did this help?
Yeah. I'm focused more. The government also is pushing the youth as well push to go to these programs as well. Right? I think there is a main reason why we're asking more for children.
So it's different. So basically, for example, even German funding, the Agentur für Arbeit is also helping with business German funding. So if you, for example, have already B1, from B1 upwards, they even can help you. You can do like a business German course, but in case they see you want to stay in the German speaking field, right? And you have only A2 German, they will tell you to upskill yourself and, for example, to go to the BAMF and learn.
And if you have a part-time job as well, they still, on that basis, do they reject you or do you have to give your entire time
to the course? So basically, it's a good question. So basically, if you are registered with the Agentur für Arbeit, right, and you get unemployment benefits, yeah, then you generally cannot work much besides it, right? You can only do a small mini job, yeah. So then if you do a program, it's usually 8 hours a day. It's like a job. So this is a bit the thing. Usually you need to be very transparent with the Agentur für Arbeit. As they pay you the benefits, you can't have a part-time job that pays you over 1,000 euros, right? Then they might deduct the benefits. Yeah. And usually the programs are quite intense. It's like 8 hours a day, but some are also asynchronic. It means you can work maybe in the evening or in the morning and split the time and could do something aside. But it really depends. Yeah. I saw another question in the back.
On the back?
Actually, I just wanted to share my experience with that. If it's okay.
Yeah, please.
Sure.
And then you can stand up and tell your name and.
His questions actually apply. Like I'm Brazilian. I
Mm-hmm.
moved to Germany already thinking about working with data analytics. I have my father is Italian, so I had an Italian passport. I think that helps a little bit. Then I went to the Agentur für Arbeit and I asked them if it was okay for them to fund my bootcamp in data analytics. They told me, well, you have to work at least 1 year for us to do
Yeah.
that. Then I got the first job I could, which was barista at Starbucks. I worked 1 year. And then I went to them again, and I didn't even have to ask. Actually, the lady, my consultant, she offered it to me. She said, "Okay, you were researching in Brazil. You already have some experience with data analysis. We can offer you Vita with
Yeah.
Shine." And I did the program completely in English. I could choose between on-site or remote. The learning curve was explosive. There's a capstone project that you have to deliver at the end. They may connect you with other companies that are potentially hiring. They offer like networking with other students that are already hired. And the Agentur für Arbeit also funded my German course
Yeah.
up to B1.
Okay.
And usually it's like very, once you get to go to them, they're very open to fund the courses.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for sharing it. Actually, it's a positive story, and so that's good. Yeah, because I really, there are so many stories. Sometimes people also have not the best experience, but it depends, unfortunately, also on the person you are, the advisor. You know, it's I think everywhere in Germany in the office, right? If you meet a good person, a friendly one, it's usually easier. But yeah, I would always, if you are in a situation and you want to do it, like, what was your name again?
I'm sorry, I didn't.
What was your name again?
My name Hazel.
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 Hazel. That like how just try it, you know, and it might work out. So if you are in the situation, I think this should encourage you to change something, not do a new career.
Thank you.
What I can say just to finish is like
Yeah.
you really need to talk to them and
Yeah.
you really need to tell them a cohesive story of why you need to start, why you need to study what you want to study.
Yeah.
And then they will be willing to fund.
All right, thank you very much. Applauso. Okay. Yeah, we're recording. Very quickly. Stand up, tell your name, and if you're looking for a job, say so.
Okay, I'm Alex. I'm unemployed and a co-founder of my own startup. So both ways are still considering. So I'm here for insight and looking for testers of my product.
Nice, thank you. Okay, can you show your product?
Later,
time.
maybe.
Next time, okay. Anand.
Hello, my name is Anand Kajla. I am also unemployed, but I'm starting to look into the freelancing tool. So maybe I get some good insights here. So I'm looking forward to meet you. Thank you.
Adelante, comandante.
Hi, I'm Zainab and I'm a travel tech consultant. I'm fairly new in Berlin. I just came 3 months back, so just started my journey. So let's see where it goes.
Hi, my name is Niraj. I've been here in Berlin for 6 years. I'm not looking for a job, but I finally decided to give up looking for a job a few years back when I jumped into consulting freelance. So I'm signed up with this organization called Smart, where I'm technically an employee under them, but they let me do my own freelance work as well, which is a great thing because, job seeking is such hard as guys, love to, get to know each other.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, in fact, Smart is presenting next month. So if you're a freelancer, You know, as a freelancer, you are discriminated here in Germany when you're looking for a partner and for loans. So you're employed by the cooperative, and you pay a certain percentage fee, whatever, and they do the incasso for you, the bills and everything, and you have the status of an Angestellter being free. Yeah? That's it.
Hello everyone, I'm Bassel. I work in tech. I studied here, IT. I work for the government right now. I'm still employed, but I'm not allowed to work more than 8 hours because I work for the government every day. So I'm looking for a part-time job, get inspired, see who wants to connect, if someone wants to start a startup and looking for someone who has too much energy, and I'm the guy. Thank you.
Okay.
Hello everyone, my name is Wat. I'm a fresh graduate software engineer. I'm new here and I came to
Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Mohammed Sulaiman and I'm working in a company as an AI automation engineer, and it's a part-time job, so I'm looking for a full-time job right now. And yeah, if someone wants to connect with me about AI, talk for AI stuff, yeah.
Okay. Colombian.
Hi, I'm Richard, also an engineer. I am currently looking for that. And regarding the voucher, I already read about it before. And for example, a friend of mine told me about a voucher for machine learning. So that could make me interesting.
Thank you.
So I'm Sylvia. I am not looking for a job, but I work in tech.
Thank you.
Hello, Leandro. I'm also in tech, and I'm also looking for a job, like most of you. I have experience with free open source communities, and I'm trying to look for a job which is probably not so much as development as it is taking advantage of my experience in that field. Thank you very much.
Hi everyone, I'm Sergey and I'm a student in software engineering, so I come here to learn more about how to get it.
My name is Akash Shobhi and I'm currently doing the internship in a company named Reverty. I'm working there in information security, and my goal is to secure a full-time employment, maybe in third-party risk management or IT audit. Yeah, that's it. And I'm looking forward to connecting with you guys.
Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Yvette and I've been here in Germany for the last 6 years. I worked before as a software developer. I'm now unemployed and yeah, I guess starting to look for another job. Also thinking about this Gutschein, the Bildungsgutschein. I actually wanted to do something in German because I took a German course and I feel like really, wow, we made so much progress on my German. So I would like to do a training in German to get more training and to improve my German.
Nice product. Perfect. Okay, muy bien, caballero.
Hello, my name is Rachit, and in Germany I'm pursuing my master's in business administration, and it's been a year. So right now I'm just looking for a job related to my field.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Jan, part of the team, as Alejandro said. I help graduates, so if you just finished an MBA or master's program or bachelor, I have some special accounts and platform called Job Wonder where you can apply, connect to Stepstone, and we give professional application advice for free, of course. So if you like to have the link or apply there, you can come after the course around and I will send you the details.
Nice, thank you. This is part of the career service. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm Aditi and I work as an automation test engineer. And now I'm looking for some freelancing opportunities. My aim is simple: more money, less flexibility. More money, more flexibility. So, and I have worked like 8 years in tech, so I would like to continue in tech.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Gracias. Yeah.
Shahbaz Khalid, CEO of Global Heritage Research Center for Mental and Literature. This center is based in Pakistan, but recently I am living in Berlin. I am also thinking that how can I launch this business in Berlin, and I also thinking that how can I target the German market. At this time, I am enrolling and free, hopefully in future. I also consult with you for your guidance and more in-house.
Thank you.
Hello guys, so I'm Sunny, like the sun, and I am on my second startup right now. I'm a robotics and AI engineer, and I'm building a startup called News AI, where we're building physical AI for industrial asset inspection like wind turbines and oil and gas. And I'm in Berlin for about 3 weeks now, and I'm working with Antler. So yeah, I'm just here doing that. Yes.
Hello guys, my name is Diya Nair. Currently I'm pursuing my MBA in supply chain management and big data. Right now I'm working as a part-time, but I need a job in my career. That's it.
Hi, I'm Chaitali Borai. I am a digital marketer. I have come to Berlin 2 months back looking for a job. I'm hoping to network with everybody. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Tatiana. I have experience in finances and payroll, and at the moment I'm looking for a job.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Jack. I finished my PhD in computational neuroscience in the United States last summer. I'm here looking for a job, which has been harder than I expected. And so I'll be exploring also freelance soon, and I'm also in the process of applying for funding for startups that I have to with some of my contacts.
Nice, thank you.
So myself is Patel. I came from India last month, and my experience in mobile app development since last 10 years, and now I'm looking for job in
My name is Denis. I graduated from university during I have a bachelor business and management degree. Again, my name is Katya. So I'm a software student. So I'm very new to the around 3 to 4 years.
Hello, I'm John. About Colombia.
Sure.
I have a bachelor in computer and system engineering. And yeah, and it's a book.
Hello friends, I'm here as a software engineer and currently I'm looking for and one more thing is this meetup is best when we I'm attending my third month like not on 5 months.
Thank you.
I'm in Germany for a decade now. Now I'm working as a platform architect for a German corporation. And basically I'm coming out of socializing because of AI for every basic things. I want to hear more about
Yeah, hi guys. My name is Hazel. It's like hazelnuts. I'm half Brazilian, half Italian. I was an academicist in Brazil. I have a master's in neuroscience. Then I moved to Berlin to work with data analytics. I was aiming computational neuroscience, to be honest. But then I started having an interest in business, and now I'm specializing in BI and growth. Because I understood that if you want to make money, you have to help other people making money. And I got a job yesterday.
Yay!
have to tell you guys that I'm not saying this out of my mouth. I see so many people here that are great, and after hearing they presenting themselves and saying, "Yeah, I'm looking for a job," all I have to say is that the market right now is brutal. That's it's all I have to. But don't lose hope. Don't lose hope.
All right, thank you.
Hi, my name is Gurmeet. I'm a business and logistics student, and I'm free in the process of finishing. And I just entered the job market, so if you have any information about it, want to collaborate, please let me know. And happy to see you all.
Hey, my name is Tushar. I'm an AI engineer. I was working for Pay4Game, and right now I'm looking for a job.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, my name is Aname. I was a cloud engineer back in India. Right now, just finished up my software engineering degree. Currently, stop upgrading my technical skills, upgrading my negotiating skills right now to negotiate how to get a junior job here in Berlin. So, yeah, that's why I'm here to learn about it.
Nice.
I'm a dentist at Lamsar, and I'm looking for
Hi, I'm Cyrus. I just completed my master's and I'm looking for a job. I just want to move to Berlin. And I'm here just to get some insight and get what I can expect. It's happy that me. Hi everyone, my name is Manelis. I'm from South Africa, based here in Berlin. I have an events company. It's currently scale. So basically, we do everything around making the event planning process very seamless. So I'm currently exploring some connections or bringing company to the German market while operating as well from a team in South Africa. So looking forward to connect with you. And yeah, have a great evening.
Yeah, hi, my name is Nasib. I just came to Berlin now from 2 weeks ago. Right, I am looking to for new opportunities in digital marketing.
Software engineering.
Hello, my name is Dinesh. I'm a software engineer for 10 years. I have come to Berlin just like 3 months ago. So I'm
Hello, my name is Silva. I came here like 4 months ago, and my whole life I have been an English teacher, self-employed. But here, being self-employed, I'm not sure it's the best idea. So currently I'm visiting integration courses, and here I'm looking for inspiration in which area I can use.
Yeah, hi, I'm Jyotsna. I'm from India and I'm a digital marketing person and looking for a job. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Taki. I'm a software engineer. I'm looking for a job and a TV also.
So if anybody has.
My name is Neha, 12 years into brand marketing. Yes, finding a job, but I am consulting to clients. So if any startup needs brand personality, defining your niche, I'm your girl, please speak to me.
Myself, Sibyl. I'm in Berlin for the last 1.5 years. I'm a platform DevOps in IT and
Multi-language.
Nice. Thank you.
Of course.
Yeah, stand up.
Hello everyone, my name is Jem. I'm a business administration student who's still doing their bachelor. I'm looking for a part-time job, but I'm actually here because I'm curious. I just wanna get in the field. It's my first time being an event like this, so yeah, nice to know all of you.
Welcome. Yeah, hello everyone. I'm Rajpati from India. I'm pursuing my master's in artificial intelligence, and I'm really hoping to, excited to meet you guys. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Shoaib. I'm doing a master's in data science, and yeah, I'm looking for opportunities as well.
Hi everyone, I'm Carolina. I'm an architect by the classic one, so not the software engineer. I'm working currently in the corporate real estate, mostly doing logistics projects and a bit of disposal. for Germany and Europe. It's my first meetup here. I'm searching for inspiration and new connections. Currently not on the job market, but probably it will change by the end of this year.
Thank you. Muy bien, bravo. Anybody missing? All of you. Okay, come on. Stand up. Get up.
So, my name is Abdu. I'm a software engineer. I moved recently to Berkeley. So,
Hello, everyone. My name is Ravi. I'm lawyer, but now not a typical boring one. I have been working since 2013, so I'm not looking for a job. I find the topic interesting, so I'm here. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Lahiro. I'm also a software engineer. I'm looking for a job here. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Bart. I'm a data analyst and currently I'm studying data analytics master program and I will have graduated soon, so I'm looking for a job. And my expertise is on Google Analytics and Google Technologies.
Hi, I'm Mike. I'm unemployed. I'm relatively new to Berlin. My background's in mining engineering and tech. It's not too much mines in Germany, so trying to connect in tech here.
Right, right. Let's try Micah.
I'm Martin. I'm employed because I did a Weiterbildung in SEO, SEA, and in combination with AI. I'm going to get work in social media marketing, digital marketing, and also create solutions. Nice to meet you.
Hi, I'm Kwang. I've been in Berlin for 5 years now. I work as a quality manager in customer service, and I'm looking to switch jobs into customer success or account management.
Hey, hi all. This is Sai. Overall, I have 13 years of experience in software. The first 9 years I worked as a government full stack developer, and last 4 years I'm working as a Salesforce developer. So yeah, recently I came to Berlin.
Okay.
Yeah, hi guys, I'm Jeva and I'm self-employed and in France, and my specialization is German language, so I do everything connected with German language interpretation and private German classes online. And it's not that I'm looking for a job, but I just find this internship and I have been here for several times, so I just want to enjoy the connection to listen to the stories.
You are presenting in June or May?
In June.
In June.
Yeah.
Presenting your book on Amazon and your courses.
Yeah, so I wrote a book about how to overcome, like, you know, a lot of people who learn from languages have this, like, mental blocks. I know grammar, I know words, but I cannot speak. So I published a book on Amazon based on my experience, how to overcome these blocks. And I'm gonna present it here in June. It was Friday, yeah.
Yeah.
So you're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Bravo. Who is missing?
Hi, I'm Fatma. I'm also new here. I became part of the program called Erasmus for Young Entrepreneurs. I am currently working in a startup and also developing my business idea because I'm looking to have my own startup. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
So, hi everyone, I'm Sheila. I also speak Espanol. I quitted my job, really quitted my job last week. So my last day of employment will be the last day of June. And at the moment I'm searching for a new job or also a career change into AI.
Nice, thank you. Yeah, you brought the wine, right?
Hi, I'm Alice. I'm a UX designer specialized in AI and complex systems, and I prefer working in early stage environments. I worked in a startup in AI healthcare in Tokyo last year, and I'm looking for a similar job. Yeah, if you're a startup and looking for UX designer, going structure into your chaos, let me know.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. I think, ja, wie immer, Sam, ganz zum Schluss. Perfect timing, yeah? I think you're the last one.
Okay, I am Sam. Here.
Thank you very much. I think that's it. Anybody missing? I think that's it. Perfect timing. You did a great job pitching and worked very well. So we're going to make a pause until 8. And then at 8 o'clock, we're going to start. What time?
7:15.
7:15. Wow. Cool. Pretty fast. Yes.
Just in 6 o'clock, I got kind of late. We only begin right now.
Yeah.
Did we begin right now? Okay.
Yeah, 6 o'clock, 6 or 6:30 is boarding time. You know, this is where you come, sit down, and then we have the intro round, and then we have a pause, and then we have the main topic. It's a whole evening thing. Yeah. Alrighty. Okay, cool. Toilets over there. If you want to go out, remember not doing the exit here, the emergency exit. Otherwise, we see us in, yeah, let's say half an hour. Huh? Half an hour? Viertel vor? All right. We have people here on YouTube. Okay, guys, we'll do the call, and then we continue. Viertel vor 8.
Yeah, I can I mean, I know like university and society, but I don't know
I also try to push myself.
yeah, I never worked with German.
Yeah, I'm also working
¿Qué pasó contigo, cabrón? No te reporta. Ya es. En evento grande sí, tienes chamba, ¿no? Sí, sí. Igual a todo. Él es argentino, mexicano. Pero tú también viste que hace 7 años, o sea, de los primeros que viniste acá. Sí, sí, está empezando todo. Oye, pero ¿por qué? Acababa de llegar y vi que por ahí estaba empezando la línea. Pero igual salgo de mi. Sí, ahorita sales en mi. Hola. Ah, pues ya se grabó. Se grabó. Sí, ¿ya? Y ¿qué onda con tu novia? Sí, sí. Bueno, está ahí. No, yo lo conocí.
This was my dream abroad, but it's really hard
Europe is great, Europe is trendy, but I actually learned some. I have a friend who worked the same year so maybe Germany is bad. Bureaucracy is
¿No le pusiste tu coma ahí?
like it's not. What I would say is yeah,
postcards and it's like yeah, like a book, yeah. So the postcards are all yeah, and you have
Vamos a darle aquí la vuelta acá.
I'm quite a motor. Because when I first moved to Germany, I was applying. I went to a lot of different join the chat.
Conversation continues, actually.
And I got 4 cities left. Like now I have just switch it. It's like a very bad situation. Well, I mean, this was school at the masters. I mean, that's it's not and the intro. I guess it's shorter. Yeah, that was 5 years. My master's of economics and logistics. Yeah, I'm also facing some, but it's very good. I was working because I want to guide I've been doing this learning course for the last 5 years. Now I'm feeling motivated but I'm also able to dig in and I would like to do back in and I can continue to my situation. But I would like to work in business.
They were pushing
My course finished the course. Are you a student at
They will provide you degree, but they will say, okay, you can do this then you are so you don't have an option for getting you can think of something like doing which is very like in this case you can stay in
And right now, What you like? As a staff yeah. Voice or anything. So they like a 15-minute opening, I look at So you are working tech, right? Software developer. Sorry? Front-end developer. Amazon has this talks with different front-end developers, back-end, because they work in information security, so we have to talk with them when it comes they always like why we should care about your particular area or something like that. They always come up with, no, we don't have this in place, we don't have time for this, so we are always like, no, because we ask for a lot of evidences from them. In the case of IQ, there's like, say from security perspective, like login monitoring, maybe SDL is like software development lifecycle policies that you guys have followed. So they are always bring up our questions. Much better. That's a good thing. That's a good thing, right? You know, like when you that's how I got my sorry that I was on the wrong track. I presume that you wanted to make time for yourself. That's why
I'm dragging myself out of bed.
Even though I have my with all the German I might be not the
break.
Which course?
Language.
Yeah. Still inside. And anyway,
I'm gonna be more level, but when it comes to speaking, I only done few papers, including passing the examination, but that doesn't count.
People there that I hadn't seen for maybe 6 months last summer. I spoke with them. Oh, German.
So probably should be saying
So do you organize these language?
Yeah, we would definitely have a meeting group and it's very simple.
It's like where I can find you.
Oh, I mean, meetup.
Okay, because I have been one language only Venezuela or something like that. Especially on the meetup, right?
Yeah, actually, I need to start learning more meetups. So, since the student company get over, I think it's double.
How many can do they attend per session? From 2000 stop to 1000. More focused. Yeah, it is what it is. Some people come back, some people don't. Yeah, Venice. And he has. What did you say like that?
Yeah, I don't remember the I missed it. I missed it.
You live there?
Yeah, I live
Yeah. See you later. We see you later.
Yeah,
sure. Where did you go? You live? You said you are not.
I married in
Okay, I'm making what
one of them is related to the testing.
No, because it's
some feedback.
I don't think I was saying for like
I like it. Exactly. And currently, the company just shut down. Total shutdown. So it's not like just layoffs. It's called Hella. They are in automotive, like cars, car systems. Yeah. Actually, you get the idea. They have more like embedded cars, like circuits and parts, more like here. Anyways, we came here to see AI. The first part was like especially for work or everything. They use like names of models of companies. They use in one app. They use one app and gives me like 6 or 7 models. And I just pick. And I see what gives me results. Let's say 3 years. What's your domain? Where you said company?
Actually, last month they weren't really using
What do you mean the presentation? Ah, you use the software to you make a presentation.
So when I was there, make a presentation.
Took over. So the need for this software declined and declined. The need of this software. That's what you mean, right?
Some kind of camp or now there's a lot of all the positions they want to be close staff.
Exactly. As well as face to face. That's a very big bonus, by the English, but very few who got very few for the German language. For example, some positions, German C1 is a must. Or B2. Even if you speak it like basics, I think
What's your name?
I was like you are good looks and I was very interested. Inspection, like whether the termite is or most inspection is is it like more of a okay, because it was there, I was working in the similar project. We had sensors, once I have a I was the voting student, but we created a model, computer vision model. That's built, that creates okay, this person, this is the person, that's because count means not only the person. Sometimes people come with they come with luggage. Sometimes they come with
from
where
I was coming from today,
it was very fast and wheelchairs also. Because of that, the public transport
Germany
is
as
not
well.
that convenient for everyone.
They say Sachsen-Anhalt or
Our solution was
Saxony-Anhalt.
make everything
They are a very small town.
make public transport easier for everyone.
Several years ago,
One was data
several years ago,
collecting the data from the sensors and training the model.
neighbor religions, yes, but several years ago on Wikipedia still said 1,200 people. When I just today looked it up again, it was down
Like
to
the
700
model
something
should be
people.
able to recognize that this is the person
It's in the supervisor of nowhere. Trains are
creating data, they're training it, and guy from
yes, my mom thought some people want to live for a
you can say internship. But I learned lots of things about it. And I also did my thesis, which was like AI matching. We have a bus. I could discuss it. It was supposed to come at 7:45. Job training. Like early
I have no idea what a good English translation is. I have no idea what a good English translation is.
I wanted to say that
direct English because for example, like it is based on because location
this is the stop. It's like 0.1
words,
2.5. Then the location will be there.
I specialized computer scientist for application development. So even though it's long, I just probably should be. And the reason why I was well, the translation is just education development. She was just I think better than
learning
I didn't hear that part. And I thought you were saying that to him. It sounded like you were saying, I think better than maybe I misheard it, maybe. It sounded like that. Like an entity.
I guess I was trying to find a
Running but later on
Please,
and then I didn't after Corona didn't end up using our Deutschland ticket to get somewhere around various forms. It was
I don't have another speaker. I had it until the end. I'm fighting everywhere. It's expensive. I actually have to travel a lot in Germany. April, I have to go to Amsterdam do my tests. Now I have the regional trains, yeah. I travel a lot.
Die Deutschland ticket that was nice weekend ticket.
Yeah, that sounds like a rip-off.
It took me just like 11 hours.
I travel with regional trains. I was helping. Like 3 hours. We are. I guess everyone's
Maybe someone wants to play their stuff. And he's but he has in the my name is
Yeah, thanks. And I want to talk to you. All right.
Full house. Okay. You 5 minutes. All right.
Oh my god, I'm
Can you send it or Okay, dokie.
Same university.
We both are from the same city as well.
But how we can share it on the okay, we have to do it like that. Okay. Okie dokie. Here's a a ver, silencio. We have to do some sound check. Do you have to connect the computer with the speaker? At all?
Take chemistry. So this is what you do in school.
Is it audible?
Highest level conditioning, speed, creativity, most of all.
Can you put subtitles?
Subtitles.
This one now there? No, this is not there.
Subtitles. Can you make subtitles?
No, it's disabled.
You can probably find the idea on YouTube. Maybe there, in the original, maybe there.
Okay, maybe I'll do that. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
All right, may I?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Connect our Bluetooth. Alcohol. This should connect. This must be that. This one. This is the one. It's not connected. Sorry about it.
Okay.
No problem.
Okay, we'll try to play it by the ear. I'm sorry about that. Okay, is it visible to everyone?
Yeah.
Great. Welcome, everyone. Apologies for starting a little late. So, yeah, you're here for something to do with how do you find a job in today's times of AI. And to start with, I just sort of sharing something about the title initially. Is anybody familiar with the principle of inversion? Okay, so the principle of inversion basically says if something is difficult, how could I make it easy? And this was something which was originally an idea by this German mathematician. His name is Carl Gustav Jacobi. In German, it's Man muss immer umkehren. Please, I apologize if my German is not that great. It means invert, always invert. And Charlie Munger, a billionaire who's unfortunately no more amongst us, he was a big advocate of this principle of inversion, where he, whenever faced a difficult problem, he tried to always flip the question, what could I do to make it easier for me? And like a reverse engineering approach, basically, to problem solving. So that's just like a key theme behind this talk today. Who am I? Just one among you. I moved to Germany in 2019 as an employee on a blue card visa, as an expat. I was an employee for a couple of years. For the last 3 to 4 years, I've been a consultant. And somehow I feel grateful to have seen at least these two sides of the coin. And over a few months in the last year, I also tried building a startup, which I had to pause for a few reasons. And I again got back to my own job search. It took me 9 months to get a consultant role. I also gave interviews for employment jobs. So I had both the kind of interviews for consulting as well as in an employment with regards to full-time roles. My background is of a software engineer. My apologies if some of the content of the talk might be more tailored to software engineers, because that's been the closest experience I've been a witness to. At the same time, I'm going to try to keep it as generic as possible. And hopefully, if it's something of use to you, and if it's not clear, please let me know. I'll try to make it as clear as I can. So I would like to start by asking you a question. What is more important in life? Is it the journey or is the destination? Anybody?
Well, the destination is that. No, destination.
Okay. Am I guessing it right? Majority of you think it's the journey? Okay. So, okay. Okay. We have a mixed opinion on this. All right. So,
Not both job.
not both job. Okay. That's also a valid consideration. Any other answers? Okay. So the thing which struck me the most when I came across somebody trying to answer this question, they said it's the company. And by the company, it's the people with whom you are a part of towards a given goal or a journey.
It's also part of journey.
Yeah, right. So you're like, maybe a sparring partner or your teammate or so on. So, in the whole context of hiring, from an hiring manager standpoint or from a talent acquisition consultant or a employee standpoint, they also care about the company of people that accompany them in the journey of them getting to the next level as a company. So, so there's this movie in from the it's actually a US movie of a true successful Olympic story of the US Olympic team. They won the gold medal amongst they were not even they were like the underdogs. They were not even I'm sorry,
Which sport?
ice hockey. So they won this against the Russians back in the days when Russia was the topmost ice hockey team, and this guy was coach. Apologies again if you can't hear it. Fundamentally, I just summarize what the video was trying to say. He was saying that for a team to be successful, what's important is creativity, being strategic, and the most important thing is what he called as team chemistry. So imagine whatever you're doing, even with regards to you're applying to jobs, people are also thinking about the chemistry you're going to be sharing with them, even through the process and even after you get the role. So please keep this in mind as well while you are interviewing in general, or even when you're on the job. It's how you feel connected with each other as a group. So I'm sorry, I'm not able to.
Requires the highest level of conditioning, speed, creativity, most of all, team chemistry.
Okay.
So this is what you bring.
So yeah, I missed the word conditioning also. Apologies. So, like one thing that I'm trying to do before I even talk about how to apply to interviews is, or like how to get the interview, is like there's this principle called if the why is clear, the how is easy. So I'm going to talk about a little bit into the basics about like what are they looking for, why are they looking for, what is their thought process of many hiring managers, from my understanding and my observation. And I'm happy to be corrected because I have blind spots and I'm happy to get better. My understanding of what I observed in those 9 months, or in general, or in all my years of being interviewed, is they're looking for A players. A players are top performers, or there's a book which explains this concept very well. Before I go into that name of the book and what that A player definition is, the fundamental thought process behind many people who are hiring today is A players hire for A players. So they want exceptional people because if they are exceptional, that's their kind of mentality that they want to maintain that standard or whatever they may call it. So one thing we need to keep in mind as people who are applying to jobs is how can we be one among those A players so that we also interview at that level and perform at that level in a consistent way after we get the job. And the definition of an A player is a candidate who has 90% chance of delivering the results that only top 10% of candidates could achieve. So this is what fundamentally defines an A player. And this is not my definition. It's from a book called Who, the A Method of Hiring. And it's a well-known book that many hiring managers use all over the world as to how they have a systematic way to approach hiring of A players. And this is one example company called AHA, where they're very clear that they're looking for exceptional people. So they kind of, talk about the same idea fundamentally. This is the book, Who, the A Method for Hiring. And why is this something that they pursue with so much of what you may call it diligence, you may call it a lot of care, and with a lot of a lot of attention, and they want to make sure that they're very careful about their hiring decision. So the Who mistakes are pricey. The Who basically fundamentally stands for people like us who are actually looking for jobs, and it represents the person. And these are for example, it's best explained this way. The most important decisions that business people make are not the what decisions, but the who decisions, means who to hire, for example. And who refers to the people who actually make the what decisions. So far, am I audible? Is my pace okay? Everybody's good? Great. Apologies. Sometimes people have told me I'm fast, coming from an Indian background. So just wanted to check. Thank you. So now look at it from the cost perspective. For them, their mentality somewhere is if they make a hiring mistake, it costs the company 15 times of the base salary of an employee in hard costs and productivity loss. That's why they're all the more so strict, maybe all the more in these times of choosing whom they want to eventually place at a company. So just trying to make it a little bit more clear from their perspective why they may be so strict about how they're going about hiring in general. Yeah, so all these are from the book, the A method for hiring. So you can always go back and look into it in more detail to understand the context. And yeah, Jim Collins is just an author who has written a book called Good to Great, and he talks about the importance of this poor decisions. So okay, this is how the model looks. Like if you see, A stands for the A player thing, and you have this thing where you source people, like you're like trying to find the right person, you select them, and you have this thing called a scorecard. So now when I talk about the reverse engineering approach to job search, in the back of their mind, the way this works for them is before they even prepare a job description, they fundamentally prepare a criteria of how they want to, assess or evaluate somebody. And it's a combination of mission, outcomes, and competencies. So the reason why they do that is to have a very fair way of like deciding how to shortlist each candidate for the next round and so on. I mean, there are companies which don't follow this method and they have their own way of doing it, and some of them may not find it fair. However, there are people who are very conscious about doing it in a very equitable and fair way, so they kind of try to follow this scorecard way of doing it. So before they even prepare the job description, they kind of decide as a team what are the key traits or qualities that they value in the individual, what is the mission of the role. So why you need to hire somebody for the role, like what is the gap they're trying to fill, what is the outcome of what a person's supposed to accomplish, and like the competency is the behavioral traits that you would have to demonstrate through your time as part of playing that role. Okay. So I was interviewed for a company which actually applied this method, the A method of hiring, and I'm just showing you few key, I would say, traits, and within those traits of the scorecard, what did they value as sub points? So for a software engineer role, I had a tech coding challenge, and for that they were trying to see how I was presenting it so when they were evaluating the coding challenge and my performance. I had a 1 hour or 1.5 hour call where they were seeing how I was presenting my topic, what were the decisions I made, how was the performance of the application which I had like solved as part of the coding assignment, how was the code clarity and the code quality. They were also assessing within that same round of the 1 hour call my collaboration, my communication, and many other factors. So this is like a template of what they were assessing in the back of their mind, which I did not know about when I was actually being interviewed. So one thing I realized only afterwards in retrospect, that these were the actual things that they were looking for in more detail. And if I knew this earlier, I would have probably prepared in a much more detailed and structured way. However, this is a black box. You will not know exactly what are the exact scorecard details they value. You'll have to somewhere read between the lines and try to just imagine or assess from the job description. And maybe other things like Glassdoor, for example. So one more thing about hiring. Hiring managers look for values fit and culture add. So values fit is if you fit into the company's values. Anybody not familiar with this concept of values in general? Or I'll just go quickly over it if it's something that maybe it's a new thing for you, if you've come from some other place where this was not a thing in the hiring process. See, fundamentally, we are a diverse set of people from various backgrounds, various cultures, various experiences. Values is like a common language or like a common ground, which everybody can use as a way to communicate with each other when you're working in a company of people from different like cultures and backgrounds, as a common language to communicate in a way that will be resonating with and will keep everybody aligned throughout their time at a given company. So values fit with, which means with the company, and culture add. So the whole idea of culture add. So I was actually in one of my company interviews in a German company. My very first interview was actually a culture add interview. So they were very clear. They were very explicit. We are not just hiring you to just join us. We want you to be somebody who could also add some value additionally to how we are currently as a company. So it was very upfront. It was not a culture fit interview, it was a culture add interview. So they made it very clear. And this is like one example of a Amsterdam company called Katawiki, where they made it very clear on their who we are page. We look for culture add, not just culture fit. So I'll explain a little bit more about what does culture add mean. And before I do that, this particular quote of we look for values fit, but culture add is actually a hiring manager called Mary Williams, who's in the UK. She's behind, like she used to organize lead dev conferences in I think Berlin back in the days, or even all over the world. I think she's not organizing it anymore, but she's a person well known in the tech community, at least for people who follow lead dev which is a conference for a lot of tech leaders. So she's a CTO and a hiring manager. So she has made this very clear. Again, I did not know this. I found this out in the process of looking for jobs and somehow finding this one piece of information hidden in some blog. So yeah, some things are not obvious. You just dig through your own experience of applying to jobs, and then you have these aha moments. So this was one for me. So yeah, culture add. At the end of the day, culture add basically means contribution and what unique value do you bring to the company. Again, they're looking for different perspectives, different opinions, unique viewpoints, and like how does that support the company in terms of diversity, adaptability, and even the long-term resilience. So they're not just seeing short-term, they're seeing the long-term aspect of hiring the next person with this particular aspect in mind, which they value, which is called culture add. And yeah, it's not that do they fit in, what fresh perspectives they bring in. So I think this photo explains it very well, where they're having some random person as if he's an astronaut or she's an astronaut, I don't know whoever they are. Yeah. So, okay, in the times of AI, what else are people looking for? So these are two keywords which I came across and which made me more familiar in the process: high agency and systems minded. Again, this is, you might say this is for software engineers only. However, I would still propose for your kind consideration, keep an open mind. I will share more about these concepts and how they could be even applicable to even non-software engineer roles. I believe they are. And I'll explain why. So this is a CTO who's just like mentioning clearly, I'm looking for somebody with high agency, systems minded persons with other specific traits also mentioned in this particular description. Okay, so before I go further, I want to pause over here for a second and just play this quick video.
Or can be improved. If you're struggling to improve, the problem isn't you. The problem is your system.
So, okay, how many of you understand what is a system in this context? Like when he's saying, if you're struggling to improve, its problem isn't you, it is your system. So, ecosystem, okay. Routine discipline.
The workflow.
Your workflow, okay.
The way you are trying to.
Or the approach.
Approach,
Yeah.
okay, sorry.
It's how your actions I have no words. So basically, how your single actions turn into a bigger system and combine each other.
Kind of, yeah. So, okay, before I proceed, I want to just apologize to the people on the YouTube stream. You may not be able to see these videos. I've actually shared a comment on the meetup page where I've given a link to a document which is having all these YouTube videos over there. So please have a look there so that you could listen to it through the Google document, which is on the comment on the meetup page. So apologies for the ones who are streaming in from remote. So fundamentally, our body, as a very simple example, is a system. If I eat something today and if it doesn't suit one part of my body, it might impact me or my health as a whole. That's a very basic example of what could be a system. If you want to go from Berlin to Frankfurt, and if you're traveling in an automobile, you can't say I will be traveling only with the tire. I need the entire car or the vehicle for that matter. The vehicle itself is like a system. So when they're saying they are looking for systems-minded people, they're applying this concept called as systems thinking, where, the way you go about, so what he's trying to say, James Clear, who's the author of this book called Atomic Habits. It's very, I think it's got a lot of reviews, and kind of some people have it's got good ratings overall. So he's saying you fall to the level of your systems. So what he's fundamentally trying to say is, in your life, if you start maybe observing it in a more conscious way, you need to see where you can convert your daily habits or routines into what is called as a system. Why? Because you can then start automating some patterns of something which you're doing manually. And if you can automate that, it makes you more productive, it makes you more effective. And why is this even relevant right now in the times of AI? Because if you see, AI is also using this system of retraining their models to get better every single time. They're retraining their models on our data. So far, is this going over your head? Are you clear, or are you able to keep up? Is it making sense, or is it not?
Yep.
Okay, great. So this is why systems-minded thinking is something that people have been used back in the days, and maybe not that much, but in today's times, in the days of AI, where people are having this concern, AI might replace them and their jobs, people are all the more becoming mindful about developing more systems to scale themselves, to keep up with AI, and maybe to also beat AI for that matter. Well, at the end of the day, we made AI, so let's not forget that. So okay, and okay, back. I want to give one more example of systems. So, how many of you know Marie Curie? So, 2 Nobel Prizes. Cool. So this wonderful person, she made. Okay, I think that's best if I play the video.
Prizes in completely different fields. People call her a genius, but what if I told you her genius wasn't magic? It was a system you can actually copy. She didn't just get lucky. She built a machine for learning that changed the entire world. I'm about to show you how it works. I'm going to give you the 5 secret study habits Marie Curie used so you can learn literally anything. And these aren't boring theories. These are the exact methods that turned her from a normal student into a science legend. Number 1, cultivate an obsession with why. First up, you have to be obsessed with asking why. When other scientists saw that this random rock was way more radioactive than it should be, they just noted it and moved on. But Marie Curie asked why. That one question led her to discover 2 new elements. So for everything you study, I challenge you to ask why 3 times. Why does this thing work? Why is this the rule? Why did this happen in this exact way? Don't just memorize what stuff is. Dig until you find the why. That's the difference between knowing something and actually understanding. Habit number 2 is
So just to give you the idea of what she was trying to apply, she was combining these habits as a learning system to make herself a better version and to scale herself. And this is a company in Germany. It's called Lanes and Planes. So one of the things they say is we focus on solving the root causes. So, for example, when somebody's applying 3 whys, fundamentally they're trying to get to the root of things. So, actually, if you see, this is indirectly saying similar thinking fundamentally. However, I just sort of sharing this video with you to explain this whole idea of how it was even applied, this concept of systems thinking back in the days by even people like Marie Curie. Yeah.
Just want to add one thing.
Yes.
This why actually works. It has a lot of power and strength. Every situation in life or every problem you can solve with the 3 whys. You get answer. If you have any problem, you ask why, and to the answer of that question, ask again why to that answer, and you do it for the 3 times, you will get the answer. So it's not only on job, in real life also it works. It's kind of mindset thing.
Thank you for sharing.
Better 5.
Yeah, there's also this thing called as 5 whys, right? Yeah, for sure. Like it basically helps you to get to the root cause. And why it's important? If you get to the root cause, tomorrow you know what is the fundamental reason that's causing the problem, whichever or whatever that situation may be in your life. And so you don't repeat that thing again. And you just get better. So they look for somebody who cares about that root cause thinking fundamentally. Okay, so one more example. There's this particular website called Humble Bundle. What they do is they offer you a lot of ebooks for a very reasonable price, and they do it with some sort of charity. Now you can even imagine this is like, I think today or tomorrow is the last day for the sale for this particular like set of books, which is for again maybe tech books. Please, I apologize if it's like too software oriented, but I just want to explain why I'm bringing this example. You see, there is a reason in their mind why they are specifically advertising for systems minded software engineer. They are also aware, or they're realizing that in today's times, being systems minded is very important as per what the industry needs, not just in the software tech field. Even if you're a marketing person or in sales, you need to see how you can refine your learning system, for example. Okay, another thing is high agency. Let's see what high agency says. This person, his name is Naval Ravikant. He is a CEO. He was a CEO of AngelList, which is now called Wellfound. Very smart guy, and he's into a lot of books and everything. He is kind of explaining this concept of high agency people.
Which is just agency, people who just solve problems without even being asked to solve the problem. They identify the problem, they go solve it. They don't necessarily have to update you every step of the way. They're not asking silly questions, and they're just coming up with solutions. Because building a startup is an infinite set of problems that are being thrown at you. And there comes a day when you realize, I can't even look at every problem, let alone think about it, let alone solve it. It's not even possible. As Vinod Khosla famously said, the team you build is the company you build. And so at that point, the team you have built is the company you have built. And your ability to solve problems is based entirely on how many problem solvers you have below you. If you have somebody who takes 10% of your time in management and solves problems, then you can only have 10 of those people working with you. But if somebody takes 5%, you can have 20 of those people. So people who are low ego, take agency, solve problems, don't have to thump their chest about it, and are just professionals. They just get stuff done. In AirChat and AngelList, when we're building the teams, I used to think of it like a Navy SEAL team. Everyone is just really good at what they do. They know their job. They do it. They don't complain. They're not egotistical about it. And if they have to constantly be corrected, or they have to be led around by the nose, or if they clean up after them, or if they question even their judgment, it's not going to work out.
So, two things to underline at least. He mentioned about going deep, and he also mentioned about people where, as an entrepreneur, like people who are hiring, right? Like whether it's the entrepreneur or the hiring manager, they are also trying to see how they can scale themselves. So they want people who can take up ownership, do things independently themselves, so that their intervention should be minimum, and it can be more of a self-organizing team, and they take ownership and deliver themselves. So that's why they are looking for this particular trait called high agency. Okay. Okay, so one thing I want to share with you about, because he also mentioned about those who have expert knowledge, they're looking for specialists, not for generalists. And this is also something which is mentioned in the book, Who, the A Method of Hiring. Because at the end of the day, there could be many generalists. However, specialists are those who really know something very deep, and something which maybe they're not able to have within their current company context to solve a given use case or certain things that they want to solve within the company. And they're looking for somebody with expert knowledge. Now, in my case, when I got a job after 9 months, during the interview process, one thing they told me very clearly is they were looking for somebody who had superpowers. So apparently, in their team, each member already had certain superpowers, which means they were really good at some part of software engineering. And they wanted somebody else who also could have their own superpowers to join the team. So they could again bring in their own unique superpowers and like their own specialty and contribute more to the company. So it kind of goes back to this whole idea of being a specialist and not a generalist is what they look for. And I think the best example that I could get even from this for this particular concept is the Intel story, where they hired the right people for the right spots at the right time. And Andy Grove was the one who was doing the management. There was this guy called Gordon Moore doing the technology style of things, and Bob Noyce was the inventor. So they were looking for specific skill sets, which are probably even complementary, and it allowed them to deliver more as a whole, as a unit. So that's why just keep this in mind as well, that focus on your own niche as well in that sense. Each person brought something different to the company at different stages of the company's growth. So please keep that in perspective. During a specific phase of growth, the company might need specific skills. Okay, how to get the interview?
May I ask a question about the previous slide quickly?
Should we take questions now or later?
Or later. What if my superpower being generalist, not a specialist?
I would not say it's like a deal breaker. I would say it depends on the company and what they're looking for, given where they are. It depends on if the role doesn't need, like even the scorecard that they make, if it is in line with that of a generalist role, and they still feel that you're bringing something, still worthwhile for them, they could consider you. I think this is the problem in hiring, that we don't know exactly what they're looking for, and we are actually figuring that out in the process. Like one question that I always ask in my first interview, in the talent acquisition, or the first screening round, is what are you looking for, which is not mentioned in the job description. Does that make sense to people?
No. Sorry.
Okay, so what happens is people say they're looking for some things, certain skills, certain qualities. However, behind that, they're looking for certain things which they do not make very explicit. That's my timer. Apologies, I have already crossed the time. Okay, so when they're looking for certain skills, they mention that in the job description. At the same time, they look for certain skills which is not explicitly clarified in the job description itself. So I'll give a real example. I was interviewing for a software engineering role again at one company, and they were saying that, okay, looking for a senior back-end engineer, for example, like that was a role. And they were saying they were looking for also somebody who's a very good collaborator, who will bring the team together, who will sometimes different people have different qualities. They were good individual contributors, but they were not good as a team. There was nobody who was bringing them as a team together. So they were looking for this thing. While you are an individual contributor, can you also bring us together as a team? And this part was not specified in the job description. I only got this clarified when I asked this person specifically, what are you looking for, which is not mentioned in the job description. So this is like you might think it's a trick question or whatever. I think the point is, my experiences of giving so many interviews in my life has made me realize that this is a pattern. That they don't tell you this, however, it is still something that they value. And sometimes they don't have the time to even maybe make it very explicit for whatever reason.
Thank you.
Cool, thank you. So yeah, okay. Right, how to get the interview?
Well, it depends on the system. For instance, generalists are needed to bring the dots together, and especially if you're an entrepreneur, you need the skills to see the whole picture. And it's a part of the system that when you're a generalist, that you have access to specialists that, can solve the specific problem. But you do need generalists to bring the dots together.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it definitely is something we need for sure.
And sometimes I have the impression they don't know what they're looking for.
They don't.
They just put, we want A exams and, the skills. And then you go into the role and you model your workplace as you're going. And that at the end, you're doing a totally different job as you develop the company.
Yeah.
I don't know, whether it's the right approach or something, but I think that it's as you give an example that everybody has their own superpower, but I also think if everybody has their own superpower and there is nobody who is, flexible enough, like a generalist, who can just, handle everybody and see, because then everybody will be like, oh, I am good at this, oh, I am good at this, oh, I am good at this. But there should be some people who are maybe it goes reverse to what the saying is, that master of jack of all and master of none. But I think sometimes it's also important in a team that if there are 5 people who are master, there might be 2 people who should be jack of all to handle that situation, to make, he said, to make them
a unit.
Fix the dots.
Yeah, agreed.
Because then you'll be like, no, why would I help you? I have my own superpower. So then how would it become a good team?
That's true. I mean, you do need people who would bring them together as well as a team.
I mean, I also come from India, and I also understand being Indians and working in Indian companies. We have a mindset that you should excel in what you are doing. Then only you are going to go and get a job and something. But it's been 2 years I moved here, and that's the best thing or a difference that I can make out. That even if you're an average or you're a generalist,
you still are welcomed here in German companies and not welcomed in Indian. I'm sorry, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but this is like my personal experience that even I am an average person, so I understand where he came from. But I think that you cannot always have superpowers. There are people who are average.
Yeah, for sure.
I would say that if resume has or if position has keywords like holistic view and management of complex problems, it could be the keywords for like generalists who are having it as a superpower, because it could be a superpower.
For sure.
In my opinion.
Makes sense. Yeah.
You what? Yeah, so we all agree that we need a system to track everything, but the billion-dollar question is what is the system that will work in Berlin or in Germany?
I'm coming to that.
So the tricks that I know, like 6 years before, I was a working student, still writing thesis. I was living in Berlin. So what I did, I can share. So I don't know how many number of applications you guys are like playing every day. So initially I was doing somewhere between 20 to 30. So every time I was like writing the cover letter and checking the stuff and then applying. So it was like an obsession. So what happened after like getting a job? I started applying for jobs because of
I didn't get that. After you got the job?
He kept applying because it was his hobby.
Okay.
It became his hobby. Like,
We all develop new hobbies.
learn to love the process.
Feed his ego.
So that's how bad I was like doing it. And the current job I'm doing as in like platform architect, I also am like this. So if you ask me honestly if I'm like eligible to do this job, I don't have an honest answer for it, because there were like other people also fighting for it. I was also fighting for it. Like I was the junior person there. My colleagues, for example, are like in their 50s. So the first day I gave Airbus for the same position, I failed. And the second day again, so what I try to say is that, so no matter whether you get it or not, keep applying. And the second thing I do myself is like I get the rejections and then I keep the rejections in a folder. So I don't apply to them in 6 months. There is this GDK thing that they have to delete their like whatever the process in 6 months. So you can read when you apply for that. So keep a rejection folder. So don't apply for the applications you are already applied. And after this, if you are getting rejected, don't take it personally, because I got rejected just like to my face. Like when I was giving the interview, I closed my app. They sent me an email that you were rejected. I did not even understand. Then you need a copy. I talked to you. I was like 1.5 hours. I was giving this interview. It was tiring. So before I could like ask for the next thing, rejected. So next day morning rejection. So rejections will happen. So if it happens, like don't take it like you are nice or hey, for this and all those things. You never know which job you will land. The jobs you are targeting, maybe you are getting something else will work. So apply more. Like I just want to talk to each other like how many applications you are doing every day. So my story is before like 6 years. Currently, it's horrible outside. So many people are getting fired because of AI. So I know to some extent I can tell you all the corporation executives are told to hold the hiring because we are inside the bubble, so we don't know the losers and winners here. So right now, no mind, right person with my possible right mind will not invest too much right now. Right? They are also like scanning the situation, what's happening and so on. They are very cautious about that. But the overall like thing with the C-level executives are like to hold the hiring, even if they have like they will hold it. So it is going to be tough. You should know this and keep trying. Actually, the situations will change. I don't know.
How long it would take to get one? These how long you were applying and then
I was working with a blockchain startup and was doing other part time, and then I think like within 6 months I was able to get.
applying how many jobs in a day?
I don't know, like I can also mention and honestly have 400 rejections.
My apologies.
Rejections, how many in a day?
My apologies. Is it okay if we could follow through on that a little later as well?
Yes. Yeah.
Great. I am really grateful for all of you sharing your inputs, because this is what we need in today's world. When people are telling AI is taking over communities, we need human connection, we need communities all the more now, because united we stand, divided we fall. Okay. Where to find jobs? The challenge. So there's this person called Ruben Sperling. He works for this company called Berlin Partner. And just last year, he at a job fair, he gave this talk where he was saying probably 75% of the jobs in Germany are never listed anywhere, somewhere. So fundamentally, he was trying to say a lot of jobs are through connections. You may say referrals, I would also say connections. And I can give you my personal example. I'm a consultant, and I asked some consultants, like, how have you found your current job as a software developer? Because consultants are having it also difficult, and maybe more difficult because there's a consultant jobs also. So he was saying that I was referring people who I already know. And I think that's human tendency. If you know somebody, you'll refer somebody who you already know, because it's trust. So connections. I also spoke to some marketing people. They also told me the same thing, that go to meetups, make connections. I mean, they call it networking. I'm not a big fan of the word networking personally. I always prefer using the word make genuine connections, because I feel that's more authentic and it's more long term. So yeah, I just want to say that the point here is, I would encourage you to make genuine connections all the more in these times, and even in general life. So one more thing which I learned. Okay, when I moved to Germany in 2019, I learned this already by then. I got my job in Germany through a Slack community job opening that was shared in the jobs channel. So even when I have a background of even where I was in Singapore for a couple of years, and even the job that I got in Singapore was through a job opening which was shared in the Philippines Ruby Slack group. So fundamentally, the idea is a lot of people, when they're posting jobs, hiring managers, they are looking for people who are maybe technologists in a specific um, area or a focus. And this could also apply to people in marketing or sales. They might be having their own community groups, which might be in a Slack or a Discord group. So in Berlin, I did not immediately come across the Startup Berlin Slack group. However, you spend time, you meet people, you also keep an open eye yourself. I got to know about the Startup Berlin Slack group somehow, and I don't remember exactly. And yeah, as you can see, they have a jobs channel. So people do post openings here too. And these are the kind of hidden job openings, or like community uh, kind of job openings which people are posting, which are maybe eventually posted public. However, maybe they first think of posting it within these Slack communities. And there are a few communities I'm a part of, which I'm more than happy to welcome you to join or invite you to join, because the moderators or the people who have created these communities, they have been very kind enough to allow existing members to invite new members. So I was talking to you about a Google Doc where I've shared the YouTube links. I've also shared a few of these community invite links, which you can directly join without having to contact me, because it's just an invite link. Please keep in mind, they expire in 30 days from today. So I just created them today, and they will expire in 30 days from today. The link to this document is already on the meetup page, so you can already see it there. So Data Berlin, Berlin Tech are the ones which I'm like anybody can join directly. Rand's leadership Slack group, this is a different one. I'll come to that one. Startup Berlin is also one where you can directly join them. And yeah, you can just even see, maybe if you're looking for a house or it's anything else or events, you might find it useful. Okay, so there's a saying, when you're in Rome, do as the Romans do. So that doesn't mean you don't be yourself. You don't be your own authentic self. You can still be authentic self. At the same time, you're valuing what people value locally, and you follow the local customs. So the intent over here is, people in Germany, there's a saying, it's called weniger ist mehr. Less is more. So, they say, keep your resume short. Don't share too much even when you're talking in the interviews. Like some of us elaborate, some of us write more a longer text. even this particular job opening in the telecom careers page, they're very clear, get to the point, short, clear, and structured, preferably bullet points, like how you write your resumes. And your recent experience comes first. Okay, so that's what they were like talking about resumes particularly. However, they were basically trying to say the same thing: keep it short and to the point, concise, less is more. Customize. So now I'm actually going into the how do you apply with regards to the resume, and then maybe the next part, and like how these all add up to get the job. So I just want to talk about where I'm coming from also. So yeah, be culturally aware. That's what I mean. I mean by applying the local customs into your applications and tailoring them accordingly. Um, yeah, customize your job, your resume to every job description, because again, there is going to be a applicant tracking system, as they call it, ATS, which is something like Personio or Greenhouse or something, which may have some algorithm or some built-in system where they might automatically filter you out based on certain skills, which may be there in the job description and which they may match with your resume. So it is always advisable to customize authentically whatever skills you do have as well, explicitly specify them and highlight them so that the resume, the applicant tracking system catches that, and you can actually get filtered. Because the mindset is, again, the recruiters may not have enough time to go through every single resume, and they want to see what they can automate. Um, Again, use bullet points, and like if you're having a LinkedIn URL, just make sure it's clickable. So this is one more thing about the principle of inversion that I want to talk about. This is the RAND's leadership Slack group, and as you can maybe make out from the name, leadership Slack group, it has a lot of hiring managers. It has a lot of CXO people, or I would say not just CXO managers, engineering managers, or so on. Even maybe in other fields which are not specifically tech, like exactly software related. The point is, there is a channel in this particular Slack group. Everybody's familiar with Slack and channels? Okay, cool. So there's a particular channel in the Slack group. It's called Vet My Resume. So I applied this principle of inversion to this particular Slack group where I wanted other hiring managers to review my resume and give me feedback as to how they may be seeing it and what I could be doing better, so that eventually when it goes to the real hiring managers, when I'm applying to jobs, it's in a much better position. So the intention here is, this is a group which you can join by, I don't control the invites to this group. You have to apply. This is a system to do it, and they accept your application, and usually they're very nice people. I would say this is a wonderful community. I've really benefited a lot from this community. It's a worldwide community, and I've found some great people in this community. I would definitely encourage you to have a look and participate also. And they have even wonderful channels like interview practice and whatnot. It's a great channel, great community to be a part of. So the idea was, join the Vet My Resume channel, request for feedback. I got feedback. As you can clearly see, there's a hiring manager there, or like a very senior experienced person who does a lot of hiring. He gave me some really insightful feedback about my resume, thanks to this, like, his kindness and his valuable time, which I'm very grateful to. Okay, so how many of you know about this particular website called Mentoring Club? Some of you. Okay, so Mentoring Club is a platform which was made back in the days during COVID. It was completely free, where mentors were giving pro bono mentoring, and they literally had people, a lot of people in Germany. So it was started by two Germans, two people who are from a German, I think specifically Berlin background. And I think now it's more of a, like, also a profit thing, but earlier it was completely pro bono, completely free. And they have a lot of people who are European or Europe based fundamentally. So what I'm trying to say is, I was initially a mentee on this particular group. I eventually even became a mentor. This was one group which really personally benefited me. I will explain more where and how. However, the point is to get your resumes reviewed, or even to have practice sessions. If you want to have mock interviews, they actually have wonderful people who are very kind, who have originally, many of them have joined this group during COVID times because they wanted to support people who are struggling to get jobs back in the days, even during COVID. And more people have joined since, because it has grown as a community. And you can really filter people by specific areas of focus, whether it's data engineering, agile coaching, so on and so forth. It's a wonderful group, in my humble opinion. And yeah, you can, again, they are very clear what areas they are happy to mentor you with. So you can accordingly filter where it's a match for you as well. and some of them are even till today of offering free sessions. So given if you may have constraints, it's totally understandable. You could always just sign up for a free session with them. And they're also offering paid sessions nowadays because now they're also doing this for profit, I guess, as far as I understand. Again, here the story is again inversion, where I am trying to interview with hiring managers for my practice, and I'm trying to get them to also review my resume through this particular website. Okay, strategize job preparation by proactively keeping blind spots in check. How many of you know about this concept of blind spots? Blind spots. Okay, blind spots. See, we humans. So there's a saying: to err is human. Yeah. So we humans make mistakes. Those mistakes could be conscious or unconscious. I would say blind spots are more of those unconscious mistakes we make in our lifetime, and it's a continuous thing which will never end. Even hiring managers, I'm calling them out. It's okay. They also can make mistakes. They're humans at the end of the day. With hiring and with even firing, one thing I've observed in many people, like especially sometimes when I've been asked to move on, they never even heard my side of the story. They never thought of asking me what was in my mind, why I did certain things for a given scenario. They felt it was not right for them, and they were like, okay, you have to move on. So they don't even care about checking if they had blind spots. If was there another side of the coin which they should have also heard? Like imagine, you may have seen in the real world, when you go to the court, the judge will hear both the sides and then make a decision. That's kind of more informed decision making. Peter Drucker, one of the great management gurus, he says the most effective people are those who actually listen to people who disagree with them and then make decisions. So if even those people who do not know about Peter Drucker and not following his advice, they are probably losing out in their own life in their own ways. So this is not just a thing for just maybe job seekers. Anybody who wants to get to be a better version of themselves, they should always keep in mind, was there another story or another way of looking at this which I didn't consider before I made a decision? So yeah, what I mean to say by you strategize. So is the concept of blind spots now clear?
But in what context did you mention that?
Yeah, I'll come to that. Right. So when I was giving interviews, it's a good question. When I was giving interviews on a constant basis over the last 9 months, I had regular check-in calls. Like I'm calling it informally check-in, but I had basically connect calls with my mentor. I found this mentor on Mentoring Club. Today, he is no more like actually actively mentoring on Mentoring Club. However, I'm so grateful I had a chance to build a relationship with him over a period of time that he was happy to even still mentor me completely free of cost. I really have great respect for that person's selflessness till date. So for me, when I was interviewing with hiring managers or with talent acquisition people, and I was sharing my experience of how I think it went, he was telling me, so this person's background is now he's a hiring manager himself. Okay, so he's a hiring manager himself, so he's able to give me this perspective. Did you think about this, or did you think about that? Which I would not be able to see until I put myself in the shoes of a hiring manager. So this was the kind of blind spots reality check which he gave me on a consistent basis, that I should have done this, or I should have done that. So this is how I try to keep my blind spots in check, by regularly talking to my mentor and asking him for advice. Like when I spoke to this particular hiring manager for this particular behavioral hiring manager interview round, did I do the right thing? Could I have done something better? He told me, yeah, maybe in some cases. He said, no, maybe not. So it really kept me in check as a person, what I could do better. So these are my blind spots, which I was trying to proactively manage by checking with somebody else who's also in a similar position of hiring. And I would say he's one of the biggest reasons I'm successful today as a consultant. If I'm surviving, if I'm today standing in front of you, he has played a very big role. I did not know ABCD of freelancing in Germany as an expat. It's not very clear. It's not written in stone. I had literally no idea. I did not know German very well. It was all the more difficult for me to get jobs. I became a freelancer during COVID. This person still gave me a lot of wonderful insights. So these are kind of people you might find on Mentoring Club. You just have to try to cultivate a goodwill and a genuine relationship with people over a period of time. So yeah, again, my intention of sharing this with you is I would encourage you to try to find a mentor who could eventually be somebody who could be your sparring partner for the long term. And Mentoring Club might be a start where you can start looking for people. And again, you don't build this mentorship relationship over one day. It is a consistent, dedicated, genuine effort, and it has to be honest. You might then find somebody who's really going to be one of your biggest supporters for the long term, or your biggest cheerleader for that matter. Okay, so resume the fourth part about how do you improve it better, make it better, is talk in terms of outcomes or impact. Talk in terms of real numbers, because what is measured is what is managed. So people want to know not just what you did, how did it positively improve the company's state, or how did it improve the team? So what was the actual result of what you did is what they're more interested in. I can say I finished this task, or I finished that task. That's not something which is great in terms of what for them to see the value add in you as a person. They could see all the more better when you talk about, okay, I finished X, this X improved the company's bottom line by so many percentage, or it improved the performance of the application by so many percentage, or it helped reduce the cost by so many percentage, or so many metrics, or whatever that might be. That's important. So always talk about it in terms of, again, more measurable terms, because again, people make data-driven decisions fundamentally. And this is again one example where somebody was having the resume reviewed, and the feedback that they gave was and the hiring manager gave the feedback that you should talk about outcomes fundamentally, all the more than just talking about the task you completed in your resume. Common mistakes in resumes: not using bullet points, not keeping it concise and well structured, not having a summary, which is again with bullet points, which is like the first thing that they may see in your resume is a summary of your overall profile. And maybe you could have 3 or 4 bullet points which talk about you as a person as a whole in those 3 or 4 key points. Because again, talent acquisition people may have only a few seconds to see your resume. They have to move on to the next one soon, and even their time is very precious. I just recently gave an interview where the person who was even coming and interviewing me last week, they said that I didn't even get a chance to see your resume. I mean, that's how occupied they are. You just have to understand, even they have a lot on their plate in the times of AI. Everybody's keeping up right now. It's overwhelming in different ways. Not using PDF because, again, see, some people use Mac, some people use Windows. Always keep your documents as a PDF because always the formatting is preserved that way. Don't highlight too many things in bold. Don't put too many points in every, when I say job description, sorry, I meant is when you're describing your role, don't maybe put more than 3 or 4 points per past role of yours, and focus on specifying tasks. Okay, apologies. Please ignore this point. I didn't complete it maybe. Avoid specifying address. Photos optional. Okay, cover letter. Are we okay so far? Is it overwhelming? Should I continue? Should I take a break?
Yeah. How much time?
How much time? So this is the part 2, right?
Yeah, because
Yeah, right. Okay. No, I mean, sure. Okay. I will see. I'm also be held accountable. Thank you. I'll try to be concise and much more faster.
We want to have a maybe 10-minute pause without going out, and then we have a discussion round because I want you to be active.
Okay, I'll try to be quick with this one. Do I even need a cover letter? So fundamentally, as you can see, there's this particular company again, Lanes and Planes. They're very clear about intrinsic motivation. They're looking for people who are intrinsically motivated to join them. So again, not just like, okay, you're hired, you're looking for a job, you're applying. They want people who are driven from within to really bring some value to the company. And this is something which will always be with them for the longer term, that you don't work only for 8 hours. Or like, I'm not saying this in a wrong sense. It just means that you care about doing well for the company, not just only within your role context. Because fundamentally, it's all about care. How much you really care about doing something of real value for the company. So one way of showing the intrinsic motivation is also making a cover letter, in my humble opinion. You talk about a few aspects which are key. And it showcases personality. So when I gave one interview at one company, the hiring manager told me that I would always choose to see applications with a cover letter, because the cover letter will tell me what is the personality of the person, which I may not be able to find while reading the resume. So some people care about it, like they want to know who you are as a person, and that is better reflected through your cover letter. And this is like, I got this from a telecom company. Again, they were just sharing, when you're like writing a cover letter, you focus on keywords and you focus on why you're a good fit, and what keywords from the cover letter which also match the job description, which I also personally do anyways. Things you can't specify in a CV is basically what you specify in a cover letter fundamentally, and it could be your additional contributions, something they have done, any good public work as well. In the case of programming, it's open source code, or specific things you want to bring to their attention, which might be relevant to the job description. And to quickly go over the cover letter structure and the different parts, the cover letter has, like, you can start with an introduction. You can make it catchy. That's something which they value. I've seen that, like, maybe 2-3 lines about yourself, and again, in the context of the role, is what they would be the first thing that they would see in the cover letter. And your relevant years of experience, your total years of experience. I've actually even made a video about cover letters. I've gone into more depth from my experience of making cover letters, because I applied this back in the days when I was in India as well, tried to find my job in Germany or like abroad in general, and I learned a lot through trial and error. So Simon Sinek, for example, he says start with why. He's written a book called Start with Why. So the idea again is simple. Start with why do you love to join the company? People want to know the why. Like, what is your fundamental motivation behind applying to a company specifically that you're currently trying to get a job at? And while you're talking about the why, you can talk about these few key components. How do you align as an individual with the company mission? How do you align as an individual with the company purpose or a vision? Because they want to see the personal connect. See, there's this fundamental thing that people like to see or work with people who believe in the same thing that they believe in. So if you look at it from that standpoint, they really want to know, do you really care about the same purpose that we also care about, as to why we chose to work for this particular company? Radiate empathy for the end users, because at the end of the day, you're solving something for the end users of the product that they're making. So you putting yourself in their shoes constantly and trying to signal that in your cover letter as part of the why is what they value. How do you align with the company values? Authentically call out the benefits as well. Maybe if you appreciate the flexibility of remote working, because nowadays now it's also hybrid working in some places. So how do you align with the company values? Again, if you can explain with an example, not just say, okay, I align with transparency as a value. If, for example, you ask me why, an example of, okay, I will not go into detail, but fundamentally is talk about it with an example of why do you align with a particular value. Just don't say it for the sake of it. So this is the video I made for how to make a cover letter in more depth. It also has a cover letter template which I've made and I've actually used at companies. So you can refer to this later. I'll share the slides afterwards. However, I just want to briefly bring this up. I will not play it right now. This is other part of the cover letter, which is apart from the why of why I would love to join the company. This is the second question I try to answer: how I intend to be of service and add value. The idea behind this is you talk about things which are relevant to your experience, which is also going to be overlapping with the job description. Here you can highlight those key aspects where you would want them to specifically pay attention to, which kind of goes into more depth of what unique you can bring as a person, and which you may have not been able to clearly go into depth in the resume, because the resume also follows a certain format. So if you want to talk about certain things, like I mentioned about open source contributions, which is basically public code contributions, I kind of mentioned these aspects and other things as well in more depth in the section about how I intend to be of service, because that's where again I'm trying to align with their job description. And my key purpose of even doing this is to make it easier for them to decide to give me the interview or like shortlist me for the interview. You can talk about transferable skills if you're actually changing jobs, because that's again where you can talk about, even though you might come from a different field, how you could still bring that learning from your past experience from some other field into your next role that you're currently trying to get. And you can specify volunteering, coaching, and mentoring and other things as well within this section. So GetSafe as an insurance company, they were also having one of the principles as customer empathy. So I'm not just saying radiate empathy for the sake of radiating it. They clearly are articulating it as a principle that they hold dear. for people who actually work at GetSafe or who want to work at GetSafe, that these are our principles, these are what we value. And hence, if you try to radiate that, you are sending the right signal that you also care about the same thing, which they also value. That's one of the examples of a cover letter which I made. So keep it one page. That's the fundamental point. And as you can see, I have these 2 questions about why I would like to join Babel for the applied position. How do I intend to be of service and add value? And as you can see, there's a 1 or 2 line introduction. So, okay, how did I get this job where I eventually got a job after 9 months? What happened was I gave a talk at a conference in 2024. The hiring manager saw that talk in 2024. And when I applied in the year, like this year, to get to this particular company, he remembered my talk from 2024. So what happened like 1 or 1.5 years back is something which still was kind of in his mind. And that's how, when I say you should probably put yourself out there, it can pay back at any point of time in the future. So that kind of was just me sharing my knowledge with the community, which kind of made him feel maybe I was passionate about the topic and so on. Yeah, so genuinely just, talking about those things in your application or in your email, if it was applicable, is a way for them to remember that you had done something like that. Actually, I mentioned about this particular talk I gave because it was relevant to the job description. So that is also why he remembered it more easily. Not that he would just remember me out of nowhere. It was relevant to what the job was looking for. So it was easier for him to recall. Community contributions talk. Yeah, so the talk that I gave was not a full-time talk. It was just a 5-minute lightning talk. That was what was appreciated. And he actually reached out when he replied, "Thanks for reaching out. Good to hear from you. I remember attending your talk at Euroco 2024." So this was his reply, part of it. So yeah, whatever good you do comes back in its own way, although you don't have that intention. Skills were a match to what they were looking for. Yes, that was also the reason why they shortlisted me. How to stand out. So this is one thing which I have learned. One system that I've done for myself as a person, whenever you join a new company, you have to introduce yourself. Okay, this is who I am. These are the things I like as a person. These are my skills. These are my strengths. This is how I collaborate. So actually, like when you buy a product, you get a user manual, right? How to use a product. So actually, I made a personal user manual of how you can interact with me, how you can collaborate with me in a work context. And I try to make this as a template. So when I applied for my certain roles in the last 9 months, I told them like, hey, you can look at my personal user manual. You can learn more about my values, my mission, my vision, or like few other aspects, basically, like even my strengths and things I value. And it was a way for them to know me better as a person and how I decide and how I collaborate. And they were like, wow, I don't have this. I would like to make it myself. Because even when they have new team members joining their company, the managers have to introduce themselves to the new team members. So again, if you're systematizing it, then you don't have to repeat yourself fundamentally. So the personal user manual is a way through which you could talk about who you are as a person. 2 people appreciated this. At least I could recall from that, which kind of gave them a good signal that maybe he's bringing something different into the company, and they wanted to also replicate that. So this is what they were fundamentally trying to say, that they appreciate this aspect about me as a unique thing.
Sorry to interrupt you. Like how many slides you want?
Yeah.
Part 1 is done.
So yeah, then we can have a break because like it's more than 1 hour now. So
Yeah, sure.
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, just one last slide for the part 1. One more thing about applications is sometimes people call it as cold calls. Like you randomly reaching out to people, and will they even respond to you? Will they even accept your invite on LinkedIn or wherever that may be? So somebody reached out to me recently, not for any not that like I was hiring, but just to connect. And he was like, "Hi, I'm this person. I'm moving to this country, and I rather build my network before I build my IKEA furniture." So I appreciated this thing about his thinking. He was thinking long term, and I like the way he was putting it. Like, I rather build my network than I care about building IKEA furniture. and would love to connect with you and like have you in my network. So I responded to him that, you want to build your network, that's great. However, please keep in mind that another way to make this more remarkable is mentioning that I would like to have you as a genuine connection. So try to replace the word network with genuine connection, because networking again sounds artificial, again sounds short term. So when you're reaching out to people, try to make it more meaningful, try to make it more authentic. I think that will be leaving you a lasting impression for them to remember you and for them to even accept your invite. So yeah, I would like to just pause with that, and we can take a break. Thank you for your patience.
Thank you. All right. That's a lot of information. Yeah, we would like to have a break, but we go out when we don't come back. Yeah. So far, any suggest any questions, any remarks here so far?
Cover letter. Do people even read the cover letter?
Exactly,
Because
even I have this question.
They showed me the cover letter, it was too much. And do they even go through the reading?
Yeah, exactly. Same.
Nobody reads in an Instagram society now.
I mean, that
Reading is
message
dead
in the
art.
LinkedIn matter, I think that matters more than the cover letter. That's what I think.
I think sometimes it's the personal connection, the making genuine connection in an event like this, giving speeches is more valuable than anything else. No? But there's one thing I want to add. I was last week at the Corporate University of NLP. It was about behavioral finance. And if you're a consultant, ihr müsst eine Auftragsklärung machen. Ja? Why is that person in front of you coming to you? You have to know that, And once you got that, and you see the problem of your client, and consider the company you're applying for as it would be a client, even though if you're only employed. But with that mindset, you go in. What context? What problems? What market is that company in? Identify with that. And say, okay, why are they hiring? Why are they looking for something like that? Once you know that, you won.
May I answer the question? Because I was a hiring manager at my previous position, and we hire someone. So our HR didn't read cover letters, but once a resume came to me, I was reading it every time, and as far as I know, many hiring managers do read because they already have filtered set of CVs, and then they want to know more about the candidate. So I would say it's very important, but it's very important for like next stage.
So your CV needs to be 8 years training, only then the cover letter.
You apply with both, right?
It's the matter when it gets filtered, right? As you mentioned, after the first level of training.
Yeah, but still you have only one attempt to apply, so it's better to have it than not to have it.
I was thinking AI is now reading the things and figuring out.
Yeah.
Okay, no time and patches. Yeah, so the AI said no.
Even if your CV gets like at next step after the it will not be only yours. Again, be hundreds of CVs. So I mean, cover letter is a place where you sell yourself the best, not the CV. Because
so keywords matter there in cover letter.
In it, yes. If a company, like I would say, nowadays I think 95% of the companies follow 8 years, but then there would also be like 5-10% of the companies who would say no, we still prefer a person looking at the CV, but you don't know whether the person is going to look at your CV or the ATS is going to look at your CV.
So keywords matter in cover letter as well.
I would say keywords, and again, your humanness matters in the cover letter. When you answer the why, if they can make out it's AI driven or if it's AI generated, it'll go against you.
I think it's just like you're selling yourself more in a cover letter than the CV.
If I may, I would not call it selling.
Like more on this, you talk more on your soft skills and other things.
They're
like what is
getting
not
to know
there
you.
on the CV.
Yeah.
You cannot just write, okay, I work here, then I work here, then I work. That they can already see on your CV.
So I'll give you an example. When I applied to Babbel at one point in the past, so the way I explained my why I wanted to apply to Babbel, I spoke about my challenges of being a language learner and why it was difficult for me to find the right app or even find the right class. It was a genuine problem I had. And that is why I relate with the similar challenges of similar people like me. So it was not a made up story, it was my personal experience. This is what they want to see. You
So-
genuinely care about the problem.
So no keywords again.
No, keyword is fine. See, because when you're answering the second part, how I intend to be of service and add value, that has to be more aligned with the JD. The second part. The first part is your personal motivation. Why?
I have beautiful questions and you can choose which one to answer. One, I'm listening a lot of things while applying that people who has expertise in AI tools, they're actually building software to make multiple applications. I don't know at what level it is true. And if it is true, then what people who do not know how to make those codes or use AI, what those people will do. Secondly, I heard this terminology called as white inking for this keyword thing. So people do put all the keywords in the resume, they make it white ink and only highlight those things which then require the human person to see it, but it will pass the ethics. So that's what I have thought. The third question is
I
about-
can't, I may not be able to remember. I'll try to finish one if you don't mind. So the first question was about.
Automation is
We still want to, sorry, you still want to make a group picture? I know we are all like tilt, yeah. But I really would like to make a group picture. I would like to ask you, sorry for the interruption, that I put the link to the YouTube channel in the meetup so that you can give any feedback or comments there. That would help the channel, yeah. And otherwise, we're on LinkedIn also, and we have a WhatsApp group. Come to me. Shall we make a break?
Sure. I mean, it depends on people.
I mean, we should take the picture.
Now.
And take it.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you can come in and discuss. Yeah, picture. Yes. Can we somehow just stand up? Just don't move. Just get a little bit closer. If you're sitting there right there, just stand up so we can see. And I'm gonna put here the. Sorry, it was a little bit.
I have no problems. I'm good.
Yeah, wait a minute. Suck. Hold on, I just want to back to the back picture. Can you disconnect that, please? So that's my. That's the first Friday. Yeah. All right. Hold on. And then we're gonna make a video, and then everybody say First Friday, something like that. Okay. If you're with the people like ich kriege hier ein Vollbild hin. Hold it. All right. Yes. Make a photo and a picture and. Oh my gosh. All right. So we count to 3 and then we say First Friday. Go like crazy like that. Okay. A ver, 1, 2, 3. First Friday. Woo. Picture. Hands up.
Yep.
There we go. Yeah. And then we can share it in LinkedIn. And please write some feedback what we didn't do now. What you take with you, comment, yeah? Any highlights, that would be great. All right, let's not network. What would we call? Thank you very much.
Who would like to make a genuine connection with me?
Yo nací en la Ciudad de México, y luego en Guadalajara y un pequeño pueblo que se llama Morelia. Ah, sí, queda en Michoacán, el lago de Chapala. Mira.
Hello. How are you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
Nice, nice. We released part of our system, like the assessment part on our website. So if you would like to check if you are burning out, you can already do that.
Oh, perfect. Oh my god, it's gonna be bad if I'm burning out from job search.
Yeah, I think it could be the case. But actually, I would say that we might need some like real users to run one experiment with if you will they can see answers. So and check out your results. Yeah, no pressure. How's your research?
It's great. Getting better at places where like rural, whatever. Or like a
I study
This guy is also like showing I'm more in the recorded beyond
We'll automatically get saved on You should invite him to the Pitchrock community groups and all that. Take us in the next events that we organize online, or even the WhatsApp groups, or even the LinkedIn group. Add him on. You'll find a lot of investors or startup founders that you can collaborate So we have this online tutor event series that we've been running for 5 years. Doing close to around 25,000 plus. I've been here since 2019. No, Ronaka, see you. Huh? Zaina will be. Yeah, yeah, she is connected. See you. Next week बता दो मेरे को. Next week क्या चाहिए तुम्हें? अच्छा वो वाला. हाँ वो हो जाता है मैं बताता हूँ. बोला ना मैंने वो अभी मेरा प्लान है. देखते हैं मुझे. ये सब तक क्या कर रहे हैं? अनवर पे हम कर रहे हैं. शुरू करो. कर रहा हूँ ऐसा नहीं है कि नहीं कर रहा हूँ. टाइम मिलता है तो ठीक है फोन पे भी कर सकते हो. बाद में मेरे को डील मत दो कि नहीं मेरा दूसरा काम है वगैरह वगैरह. और कितना है? लिंक भेजना है. वो जो मीटअप का लिंक बोल रहा था ना ग्रुप पे गूगल ड्राइव भेज देना. वो मीटअप का नहीं है एक्चुअली ये मीटअप नहीं. ऐसा कुछ है भाई नहीं कर भेज दो करें.
Sorry? There was some guy
And then have nice I'll go around and
That was a favorite thing.
I stared at it as separate entity in Bangalore. Yeah. So the moment you enter this
Like the moment it's come from that Harbour Gate, like towards that the hospital, put the window on, talk to.
I was Bangalore. It's Mumbai, like when you only got to Mumbai, got married and moved to Bangalore.
But she prefers because you've been in Bangalore for the time when it was actually good. Now she found it a little now she found it a little kind of expensive.
It's not just for your
Yeah. And more than that, today we have like the most number of literate people around the world. Like this is the global people. There are 300. In Germany, they are asking for
there is a big chance that
So very focused on that top part of first page that should represent
Like
the most.
I got into freelance with most my freelance current employer. They ended up telling me, "See, I can hire you." But the cost structure is very incurred. Hiring as an full-time employee is not okay. I can pay you like same amount. Becomes different. Which makes sense.
Yeah, we applied for a job and then they're telling you the high
Because numbers can.
I mean, I've been doing this for like almost 10 years. I only have 3.5 years of full-time experience. The moment I realized like clients are there, there's that thing you have to keep still looking for new clients. Otherwise, you get bored with one or two for so long. Exactly. I'm also like pushing her, like slowly learn the language.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but that's why you should like not put all the keywords that was in your position. Those are tricky to your experience. So if they see more than
She's telling me, remember when she was there, you know, easily I should get a job.
if you write something that is not that's another red nobody cares how long
and then if they reject you, you're not
I told him about it. That's how
and in India, we used to get hired like within 1 week. No bullshit.
Yeah, mine is basically design and but you know, I do have a lot of I speak to them, connect with them. No, I mean, even part of the.
He's done a good job. Really good, yeah. Whatever.
only thing you can put as much information as possible. Try to be more having like long doesn't feel really. So when I was a hiring manager, I could say that long list like if you're a jack of all trades, it really concerns. I would not trust this way. But if it is short, precise, and to the position, that's what I do.
Today, like when somebody was asking how many hours you work, like on paper it's sufficient to 20, 40 hours. So for myself, I have to work for about 7 hours. I will wake up, I'll answer, I'll get to work.
Sleeping 6 in the morning. India is calling because they have it's like 11 p.m. over there, and someone was calling and then he's like, it's not about
Something that you will
he
be
just woke up and then he's
confident
like, the next moment I see him,
that's not something that you expect. Literally, we see for resume takes less than like half a minute. If you
I'll give you my number. You can do it and connect with them. Obviously, I'll connect them to yeah, no.
When you have hundreds of CVs, it's very hard to like.
So I recently somebody asked me, like, I don't know,
Don't worry
obviously,
too
I
much
don't know much
about
about his background, but he was talking to me about SAP certifications and all of that. So yeah, I also part of these German-Indian cross-border collaboration group, pretty interesting if there's something like so I'm just gonna leave my I just put it as a consulting.
Second interview will be with hiring manager. If you impress them, then okay, it might be our candidate. I need to research more, and then maybe they will into and so on.
No, it's Marathi.
It's not as a good.
I think I might come in May, but it's not confirmed. So now, one of the groups that I'm a part of, like it's called FirstFriday, which is cultural association Indian Federation in Germany. So they're basically working on moving the government to support whoever has PR passport to allow them to bring their parents as dependents. So they're pushing that. No, not like if they want to serve.
It's okay, you can come anytime there.
मेरे को कहते हैं
Oh my God! This is a conversation we had every day with his mother. So you put idli dosa and
I'm sorry.
So I didn't even have an effort to learn to understand what you are
I love how you make burger buns. Little stuff some minced meat, you know.
Yeah, that's his idea of dosa. But I was thinking Dakshin Indian Saga can be on But you're going next month. You can have. Did you try this Sarvana Bhavan over here?
It's good. It's a compliment, but it's good. Okay. We need it. Like for me, my job is remote. My job is remote, like nothing like stay here or there. Yeah, but I mean, anyway, but we thought, okay, future life, family. Sorry? No, I didn't actually. There was a thought process like, do I need to give up my Indian passport? Like, I want to. No. Yeah. My concept was like, goals are there. Like, in the next few years, I want to become an investor. I want to invest in business. So I want to get an investor from like proper country. So that is the goal. But obviously, whatever comes to contribution. So, I'm back here. Minister said, come back.
So we, from the first glance, understood that he might be provided these sorts of exact so exists projects
You can also join the sister group of FirstFriday. Sister group of FirstFriday this line. Started that with the partner in 2005. We already started investing in every month we have just like possible. We have a lot of co-founders. We'll meet again before you leave. We'll go to Savannah. Even she's not happy.
No, I don't want to be.
You know how that 120 rules have become. Well, that day night we didn't see the 320 when they were cleaning up. 1:30 in the night we were there.
That's why I explicitly asked
Like they said, cool, pasina. My God. I'm glad I didn't eat at that Amar place. What is it? Bengaluru, Kano. Kannadigathi. Or Kannadiga is also good. It's a gender neutral. No, but Kannadiga word itself is gender neutral. But yeah, if you want to go like more grammatical, Kannadigathi is a long word. Yeah, they also have
You must be missing home now. You don't have any
of course, not everybody is responding, but sometimes I give a feedback that sometimes you can it's very on stage, like no funding, we can
it's hard for me also to talk about it. I don't know.
Have you seen Jan? Jan just stepped out. My mom keeps telling her that. Thinking in INR, it will not work. You remember we were trying to book the extra bag for you when you were flying. Sure, my voice was my mother got stop converting.
I still convert. I do convert. If it wasn't from the big bag, my mother is
I got myself puliogre. My mom said to puliogre powder.
Almost everybody has that puliogre.
Like my noodles, guys, no sweet, none cooked.
Now also like they are also telling me maybe please let me go to
Oh, yeah. I mean, in some ways, Berlin makes me feel like Bangalore. But from that, the whole cosmopolitan rush and all of that cultural thing, it is, of course, there are elements that are good and bad. Exactly. Like we just came back. We just came back from Australia. The moment the bus entered, it's like the feeling I used to wait when we used to reach. You know the exact feeling I get when I'm getting this
Somehow this chase feels like home. It's comparatively to it feels good. I never felt like I had bad even like I have German friends also. That is very nice. That's the thing we need to
Yeah, nice to meet you. Take care of yourself. Definitely meet. You guys can call me anytime. We'll come catch up. Have a discussion. Yeah. Pretty late. We have a curfew 10 o'clock. Yeah. And plus the YouTube recording is with me.
I didn't realize it's 5. I was just thinking it's 9. See you. Can we catch up with you?
And that was really not sure
You need a permanent contract with the minimum salary cutoff. Exactly.
They have this figure also.
Most of the things they are selling, some of those things are passing. Why is that? It's tough. Now Max is selling 2 years to do Corona for some time.
Yeah.
I think 6 months delay initially because we were not getting partners.
I don't care about India because I'm not going to be
But you might have your parents.
And because
I mean, if I am just here, I will send you money.
I tried to for 1 year.
So here, the fund is like my survival.
Appointment pages. Somebody would try to do it before dedicated first.
And my colleagues are saying, because like
So again, you got everybody at least added
When your operation here, but it goes what was this?
I don't want to see before the system.
I'm not forced to do that.
I don't know how to give this feeling. I can see my past and future when you talk.
You know, right? You don't have to have a job even so it's like the safest thing I am. Right? There is no other visa. Either I have to be a student or I have to work. I'm glad that I don't see people as a Indians here. Usually when I go somewhere not all, but the couple.
I know, I asked your full name is voice of because you'll bring your attention and then you will.
See, I told you that we have a bit of discussion that might say what is the mindset of some Indian European and I.
See, all the past, maybe I will take the system and do anything, right? Basically, it is
I just came here to meet people, to make some
what is the difference in the pieces in the business?
Effectiveness of data, like using data.
I don't want to get this exactly tell me what you do.
Effective data-driven strategies.
Inside that, what else you use?
Like you, so basically, like we analyze the data and then figure out what is being worked out and then spend some money on that. Basically automating everything in terms of marketing, not in terms of giving to people who see, okay, this case is doing good, we're not it's very
Because the moment you show weakness, you can show the weakness because you are not. Don't show the weakness outside. Like you can do it. That's okay, understandable. So you
minimum 5 years.
the problem there is the beginner level outside.
And when you go to internship,
For me, it's very disappointing. And asking for the senior people to job. So the honor, there is nobody. In between, you have somebody. At the top, there are people like me. There is struggling because like those people they just now they are gone. I was going actually when we were talking to her, like these schools are in India. So this is giving pressure to many people. Like, for you, that 5 years that you are asking because like, the initial positions are not gone actually.
I mean, it's just like okay, maybe right now, but it's smaller than somebody else.
Tomorrow you will
So there is nobody. So if they allow me this lecture, how did you
yeah, exactly. So the way you manage the capital, human capital is going to be question. That's what I said. Seriously, we were told to pull the hiring. Now for some time we were told to pull the hiring. The moment you know that
Yes, please. Once, yes, I
even intuition, AI. So, I mean, but I started.
How will I get management? All those things fine.
That's why I was asking you.
At the human level, what I actually all the resume I want
really not. Actually, all CVs are very different, and I would say people who really take this kind of advices and really adapt and work, elaborate very carefully on their CVs are still minority. Like about 10% of CVs that I see, and I'm already a second level after our HR. So most probably, our HRs already filtered a lot of CVs, so I can see only like maybe 20% of from initial amount of CVs, and only like 10% of this amount is really well written and like.
do humans really scan?
Yeah.
Or is it the machines that
It depends from company. Like we didn't have any automatic processing system. So it was done only by humans. But actually, it doesn't really matter if it's automatic system or human, because if there are relevant words and like phrases, kind of a keyword. It's not like.
What do you mean by relevant?
I mean that's you kind of a trained to see. So you really catch what is relevant after a while. Yeah, you scan. Like if you see relevant phrases, words, and experience, I would say, you can see it in like 5 seconds from the glance. Really. So it really works. You should really tune your CV to have exactly the same phrases. So even if there are synonyms, you should take those are used in the job application. Then most probably it will be catched either by AI or by human brain. It works in that sense.
I learned that language.
Yes, because there are so many CVs that you cannot read into the detail and think like, is it synonym or not? If you just see the common words, this outstands your CV.
Like I had to
It
say no
really
to
works.
people because I didn't have time. I was taking tuition from 10 in the morning till 11 in the night.
Let's start.
AI should be. I mean, is there a percentage like this much human effort you should put from that? This much machine take care?
I also wonder right now because when I was hiring someone, it was already there were like LLMs and so on, but it wasn't so widespread. But since then, I would say I need some updates.
I understand it's all more your
It's
plan.
evolving.
Okay, one last question. Sorry, I asked you.
No worries. I'm here for network.
What is that one should not say?
No, but I used to for like
Otherwise, it's a completely good apartment. Is there something like that?
I'm trying to.
Now I'm
being too honest, be honest.
I think things are not right. You can put them, but in the very, very bottom of CV. It shouldn't be like on your first page that you are like playing guitar. So yeah, I would say for me, red flags is I feel that candidate doesn't feel what is important and don't place it on the first place on the resume. So basically, if I see good structured resume, I already think as a hiring manager, okay, this person did their own homework, so they prepared the CV very good. If it's not accurate or not relevant, or there are some non-relevant parts, I think, okay, probably he or she just sending all the same resume to everyone and like don't giving much attention to the role. So it's not completely a red flag, but that's yeah. I mean, every sign of inappearance, treated like, well, this person just didn't do so a good looking, very well structured resume is already a sign that person takes it seriously.
So I'm a marketing
I don't know
Yeah,
whether
yeah.
I think I would have
I have no idea about marketing.
I sometimes feel that
I know.
made a mistake or something. Understand your
Yeah, I have some friends who were seeking work, so seeking for jobs in marketing. They are struggling, but it's not as desperate as it could be. Searching for any kind of job now takes months.
even if it's in high demand.
Yeah, because everybody wants like the chosen one. And yeah, it's,
So if you can hit me up with
It's okay to do this like anywhere in the world right now. After job got released, you can do business like under business first.
I can recommend you one meetup group. It's about product management, but I think marketing is kind of and there are other people who like came into product management from marketing, and then you can exchange experience there. Can try.
You can add me
What's up? I'm not very big fan of it's in meetup.
Take my LinkedIn listing. I have like apply for it. Yeah, apply for it. If you get, we can meet.
Yeah. It's called like this, product managers marketing, but it's closed group. You need to send.
But is it a free or is it a paid?
It's free. All events are free, very cozy, very interactive, very nice people out there. I'm hosting workshops there sometimes. Product managers network.
नहीं वो मतलब वाला वो खाली सपोर्ट कर वो एक वीडियो में चेक करूंगा है
Yeah,
ना this is my WhatsApp
only.
ये लोग मतलब रिलेशन से लोग
First accept my request.
No, it's not like this. I don't know how to do it, but I forgot the calling number. That's the problem.
But it's okay.
I don't know where to pull that from.
Actually, अगर नहीं वो तो ठीक है but still like अभी क्या कि
Where are you from?
You're Tamil? Where?
No, he's from Delhi. He just said.
I like. Now, right now, you're not.
He will not compare. I'm just ma'am. I think 25 years old, not even
We are very early stage. So passing on
You can add it to my
What we are looking now is somebody who can help us with user testing. So if I would request you to pass our application is early burnout prevention, and partly we deployed the first part of this system. It's a burnout assessment, like where you now, how bad is the situation. And in the end of this assessment, there is a button to pass a user test. It's about like impressions of some future designs that we have in Kitten. So if I can ask you to pass this survey and then user test it, you will help me.
Send it to me on
Yeah, I will send it to you.
I'll also pass it on.
Please don't do that. It's
Yeah, it
It's just because I have applied more than I don't know.
So I will send it. I will send it just in a minute. I find the link to it. But anyway, it was nice to meet you. And hopefully to see you on one of those events.
It's nowadays called uncompensated. It's not lecture.
I mean, I am hardly able to attend. But I also know someone who's living in my apartment. Got a job.
It's like mix and match.
No one person I'm talking about.
It's a mix and match.
I also volunteer like you.
You want to volunteer?
I volunteer for a review. There is some position.
I didn't
Umbrella.
It could be for
I don't self-reference myself.
You need a volunteer.
I'm just, he was telling 30 to 40. I said I also know somebody who got a job by 1%.
I also wish like that we are going to
So now you must be a
figure out like these questions like why are you seeking the
That's why it's all there.
I also volunteer right now
on the very top area of the very first page of
I mean, I just did this to cover up the gap.
by
I'm working for
either HR or if it's AI. So it's works the same. They find very relevant niches that fits to their needs.
Actually, I'm a tarot card reader and it's a reader, so I'm
one of my friends
not like a tech startup.
Your resume is not like
answering this question.
पेपर वर्क करा दो बस फंडिंग मत दो ये सब करा दो
You take a look on your first page.
मेरा फ्यूचर देख लो, मैं फंडिंग कर सकता हूँ। मेरा फ्यूचर देख लो, मेरा मैं फंडिंग
घर आ जाना या कहीं और रहना मेरे पास सब नहीं है
basically like how it goes like is we are trying
And it was like this, hundreds of stations and only like
really
5 interviews. And I didn't know like what after that I had like simple and I started to customize resumes like it was 4 years ago.
You don't know
because each time I was like very thorough.
for internship positions you don't need anybody who's an influence. Most of the companies it's like oh okay we
I was very
you are right.
And it was like maybe half of them converted into first round just because I was like why they are seeking for what they want for the candidate. It worked really,
So I will send you a message.
take attention on
This
what
Monday
you
probably
like first
What is the point of being in Germany?
for now.
It's your company or you are
I'm not working there.
you're not
There's only just like one woman there behind that startup. So now she wants to establish the team.
Actually, I work in one more like one more company. Which name of the AI company? Like that. We also he said okay on paper I will give me a freelancer kind of a contract. Of course, it's in the show to the government and everything. But there is one thing close to the government. He was the like the person handling the startup.
for example, you know some kind of
I was like, okay, I will go for free, but maybe later, because he told me once he gets the funding, then he can maybe I work like 6 months and then because my web developer is also gone, like it's also gone, my job is also gone.
Don't list all the skills or technologies you're using.
Yeah, but I will, that was also it's just like pay for the coffee that he had. I know. That's why he told me he will give me the freelancer contract. So that his proposal does not apply to pay me.
You don't mention
Yeah,
if you feel like the rest of your skills
I have thought behind for more than 2 years. I mean, if you don't have money to pay your rent, what do you expect? Ask people.
And you can say, very beautiful.
I don't have money. I don't have money to pay my rent next month. I don't know how would I give you money.
Just write what is really relevant for you and do customization, then you have higher chances even if you will have less number of applications.
My boyfriend used to do it and he told me that it is too much. My boyfriend used to do that. He said like straight up
अभी तो आएगा पेपर
See, I was done with it.
I was wondering if it will happen. But anyway, thank you for the very nice talk. It was very relevant. I have very similar experience. And, also, I read the same books as you did, like both Atomic Habits, Start with Why, and many others. Sorry? I'm actually not looking for a role right now because I'm trying to start my own startup. But technically, I'm unemployed, so maybe at some point I will need some more insights on that. I also do my own workshops on CVs and like preparing to that. So I have some knowledge, but I thought maybe I missed something recently, so maybe I need to learn something new. So it was really nice, and I really wonder what will be in the part 2.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully I could share it soon.
Yeah, I worked with third party. It was very good. I was getting good pay. I was getting 50. I was getting like 50 euros.
Yeah.
बहुत सारी ऐसी कंपनीज हैं जो एडिका में काम करती हैं जिनको डायरेक्टली एडिका ने एम्प्लॉय किया था they were the person who employed
It could be. I mean, like, I would also love any feedback about that.
Are you going to share the PDF somewhere?
Yeah. Now I have to share this part because we had to book it.
Yeah.
Not going to share part.
That will be
May I ask to
और पूरे
exchange
नेक्स्ट टाइम का ऑर्डर आया खराब नहीं आया
But his number उसमें
जो आप बोल रहे हो वो आपने जब से ऑर्डर उठाया उसके ऑर्डर डिलीवर किया उसने बोला
I think
we are down the line side.
नहीं हमें आपको कोई और लोकेशन भेजेंगे
yeah, but give it a shot. Try to like make a system of it and answer those questions. Why we are looking for system? How they want to make the job done? Where and what?
अभी बता रहे क्या कई बार होता है कि हमें लगता है
नहीं वो जेन्युइनली
पर्सन टू पर्सन हाउसकीपिंग भी मल्टीपल
नेक्स्ट टाइम भी I
And see, my expertise is that
मतलब ठीक है 12 घंटे
I have 10 years of
था पर 5 घंटे की शिफ्ट यू कैन स्टिल
They have
मैनेज
mentioned
कपड़े
24 hours
इतने ही भारी हो जाएंगे
in the description they have mentioned we
running for 5 hours
So
but
when
not
it was
जल्दी कैसा आपका अच्छा है
when I don't
पैसा है
when I don't
I will do
मतलब एक महीना 2 महीना માટે
जमवानूर ट्रांसपोर्टेशन तो रेस्टोरेंट्स में जाके स्टोर्स में जाके काम नहीं हो तो कुछ एकदम
और यू
नेवर नो कि जैसे कहा ना उसने 80% 90% रिटर्न होता है एंड आल्सो आपका जनवरी
From a hiring manager position, I would say actually back then we hired not very experienced and not very like wide skills. Actually, it was a yes. Yeah.
मैं मेरा तो है मैं अकाउंट्स में आज तक नहीं
अकाउंट्स के पास जगह ही नहीं है वो कहां से लेगा देखो अगर आप कॉमन कंपनी में जाओगे जिसके बारे में सबको पता है
Manish, please, Ronak, I have taken his number. No, I have taken his number. We'll talk.
We also connected on the LinkedIn, so it's
Okay, great.
अभी तो अभी 10:30 हो गए ना 10 बजे तक इवेंट
पर आई थिंक पार्ट 2 पे तो आपको नहीं था कि हाउ टू अप्लाई get the job. So just announce if anyone wants to come and join, they can say.
No, nobody is now. It's 10:30. They not give the call.
instead you can just record yourself and just paste it on the like
We can't move beyond 10:30.
Yeah, that's what he told. Sorry. Vinay पण ना पाहिजे.
नहीं
आपको किसी और दिन से होगा नहीं, आपको फिर या तो आप ही रिकॉर्ड करके ग्रुप में डालो।
गूगल मीट पे करके रिमोट कर सकता हूँ बिकॉज उसमें डिपेंडेंसी फिजिकल लोकेशन की नहीं है। अब ये मैं खुद को नहीं उस पर कभी करना है, पूरी जगह उनकी है, तो उनके साथ भी चला पड़ता है।
नहीं, उन्होंने मना किया बेटा, अभी बोला उसने।
हाँ तो ठीक है, बिकॉज वही बोल रहा हूँ कि ऑल्टरनेट
हाँ, but you can take a number and
मैंने बोला रिमोटली आई कैन डू अ कॉल,
फोन करके बात कर लो ना उसमें।
अभी आप तो प्रेजेंट
Okay.
स्लाइड्स प्रेजेंट करते हैं।
Okay. That I don't know what I'll have to do.
And I would rather do it with the group.
Yeah, yeah,
और लोगों को भी फायदा
definitely.
होगा।
Yeah, yeah, right.
Yes, आपके सवाल। I would say quality matters.
It's very rare.
उनको मिल रहा है, उनको डिटेल्स मिल रहा है। आगे ड्रीम जॉब्स को आगे कहीं चलेगा, अभी और ड्रीम जॉब्स फिर आप काम के लो। I would maybe made a I would ठीक है जितना ऑटोमेटिक AI से कर सकता हूँ